hello there. Welcome to another episode of Cho Thoughts. I, of course, am the Big Cho. That over there is my man Big E. And I gotta tell you, I'm a little tired because I was in Erie over the weekend. As I told y'all when you heard Friday, I was going up there with the family. I'm exhausted. I'm still exhausted because I had to work the next day. Um, but I had a lot of fun. Um, um, Last time I was there, I think Xander was like, I don't know, like 11,
One and a half.
might have been 10. But um, a lot of things have changed. Like now, when we were up there, we got up there Saturday. I just was chilling, enjoying. Like, I know you never been, but they set that whole place to a certain temperature. Like keep it warm, the water warm, etc. And you get dehydrated. Like you get thirsty. Of course, you're in the water, the air, the moisture. So I looked over and I was like, "That's a bar." Chuckled over real quick, and I was like, "Hey, you know what? Let me get a Miller Lite." I needed my ID. I was like, "You fucking kidding me? Like, really? Okay." He was like, "Nah, man, we card everybody." I was like, "Be back." I had to walk all the way down to fucking another end to get my ID. Come all the way back, but I brought my wallet because I don't know. So I gave him my ID. He said, "I only need that one time." He's like, "And then you're good." I was like, "All right." So I asked him, I was like, "Do you take like Apple Pay, Google Pay, shit like that? That way I don't have to keep pulling my card out." Thank God they do. You know what I mean? Because that's convenient. So you don't have to like always have your card on you. You can possibly
Yeah.
lose your card. Or I know we can use our watches too for that shit. So that was nice. So I grabbed two of them because you know me. I'm always going to grab two beers. And I literally had my one on the table and I literally was watching the sweat come out of it that like sweat that fast. I was like, I'm really not. I just wasn't. I was like, I'm not letting it sweat. And that first one hit so good, like a fucking blue moon, but it was a Miller Lite
Yeah.
because it's the heat. You're just feeling it. And Brandy was like, "Is that a beer?" And I was like, "Yeah, is that okay?" She's like, "Can I have a sip?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." You know what I mean? She hit it. She was like, "This is fucking amazing right now." I was like, "It's because it's 90 degrees in here. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a humid, moistury air." So after that, like, my stepdad, Kevin's like, "Where'd you get that?" I was like, "Over there." He's like, "Oh, I'll be back." He's gone. And then my mom wanted to do like they had frozen drinks there too and stuff like that. And I was like, "Well, I guess we are on vacation. So what the hell? Why not?" And I was trying to give past Riley, who's going to be 21 in weeks. I was trying to get her like a mango white claw. She turns around, she don't want it. Next thing you know, I had two beers and a fucking white claw. I was like, I mean, old me would have been like, I'm gonna keep going, but new me was like, feeling pretty good. Like, let's go to a wave pool. Let's have at it, bro. So the worst part is they like stopped the wave pool. All right, because a lot of people were losing like their however you want to say it, their extensions, their weave, however people say it. I don't care. But there, you would see it floating. And I mean, dude, it was almost as bad. I could have made a wig for this stone. Like, so they
That's
stopped it.
disgusting.
They stopped it, bro. And then this dude comes in with the little butter, like this
Skimmer.
little catcher net, little skimmer. And we're like, "Oh, did you get it? Did you get it?" And he's looking at us like, "No, I didn't get it yet." And I'm like, "Bro, there was a big clump of it over here a little bit ago. Like, why didn't you go get it?" And then I thought the sucker part got it. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna
Hmm.
go in, get filtered out. No, this dude apparently worked for Splash Lagoon and lost his Apple Watch in the water.
Oh,
So the priority was get his watch instead of cleaning the fucking pool. That's why I was like, "Man, you nasty motherfuckers, bro." But to make it even more hilarious, Brandy's mom, like the first day we were there, like you get it here and there, like it happens, it's natural. They're like hair particles, etc. She had it on her hand, fucking flings it off her, right, bro? Smacks somebody with it. It's like, wow. I was like, hey, like me and Brandy, like you just fucking hit somebody with that shit. She was like, look on her face. She was just. I was like, dude, if it would have smacked me in my face, I'd have lost my shit.
Yeah.
Like if I was somebody else, but I was like, it wasn't me. I don't give a fuck. And then it would touch like the next, like that Sunday, it would touch like my mom's arm or shoulder, and she was waking the fuck out. I was. It was just like it's gonna be in here, but they should just do. I think they should do a little bit more like contingency of cleaning it. You know, like between 4 and
Or or put up some shit that says, "Hey, keep your fucking hair on your head.
yeah, or you know what I mean, tie it up or something.
Don't wear it."
Yeah, or if you have extensions or weave in or whatever, like have like a bonnet, something to hold it up in, or something like a
Yeah.
shower cap, something. Or they can maintenance it between like 4 and 5, like around dinner time when people are going to eat dinner or leaving,
Yeah.
just for like a maintenance. But I mean, that was that. X had a good time in the wave pool, a lot better than Waldemar. He was like with Splash Lagoon, they have so much more time, like more rope. Like there's a rope, and then there's all this room
Hmm.
for for error. Like if you get past it, not like Waldemar's where it's like bang. As soon
Yeah.
as you hit that rope, they're like, Get back." I didn't hear anything like that. Xander had a really good time. Uh, and then he wanted to go do water slides, so he was all over the place. And then my niece Riley wanted to go ahead and be like, "Hey, can you go? Will you go on this tube ride with me?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. Fuck it. Okay, I'll go." Dude, I'm on this thing with her, and I got my legs like in the back because I wanted to like have my weight go. You know,
Yeah.
figured it'll make it go faster. Zoom in, bro. Like I felt like the Iron Sheik was there. Zoom in, like bro. We were fucking flying. So then all of a sudden, I felt the fucking back of the raft go up, down, and I fucking crushed my back.
Uh.
And I was like, that sucked. Like,
Yeah.
but like, we got out of the water, and I'm like, not feeling great, but not trying to show it because she's never asked me for anything. So I was like, and then
Was
she's
good old
like,
Billy Bill there?
yeah, Billy Bill was there, bro. Billy Bill was there. They went fishing because
Do you wear
he's
them
like,
new? Do you wear them new sneaks?
dude, no, he didn't wear them, but he was coming into the wave pool like he was getting dressed and like me and Xander got in like and then he was coming and he slipped and dude when he slipped he was like he caught himself
Oh.
but I looked at him I was like you did the whole fucking pumpkin patch all over again. He was like, Uncle Paul, we don't talk about the fucking pumpkin patch no more because dude he was eating it at the pumpkin patch because he had Crocs on but it was muddy and
Yeah.
he just kept eating it.
Yeah. You
So
can't.
I was like, Bill, I think it's just me, bro. I really think it's just me because he always slips around me. But yeah, I asked him, I was like, did you bring your black cats? He was like, oh no, they ain't coming here. I was like,
Hmm.
it's my kind of guy. I wouldn't bring him in here either. I was like,
Yeah.
"Uh-uh." But we got out of the water and Rye's like, are you good? And I was like, not really, man. So I went like in the wave pool to try to like get the heat on it and try to like move it. It was all right, but like once we went to dinner and got settled back in the room,
Yeah.
that wasn't feeling good.
Yeah.
So I kind of like arched myself over the bed, like slightly, while Brandy was sleeping in our bed and Xander was in his. Brandy fell asleep and I just laid there, and all of a sudden I just heard this loud like knock.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's it. There we go. Now I can go to sleep. But I mean, I haven't been really sleeping too grand lately, you know.
I feel you there.
But like you and I discussed, it's like an off air issue. But for anybody wondering, I'm fine. Everybody's fine. We're okay. But
It's
it's
called life.
it's life. Life happens. Um, but I had a pickle pizza. I thought of your fucking wife because it was delicious. It was really good. Um, you gotta try new things, eh?
That's like I saw that fucking commercial. They was like, "Oh, pickle Heinz ketchup," and I was like, "Nope, fucking keep that shit."
Well, speaking of the pickles, I think it was last Sunday. I picked up Xander from his mom Ashley, and she got the pickle tea from Turner's from Picklesburg. And I wanted to go to Picklesburg, but that's kind of the real reason I wanted to go was to try that. And she had an empty bottle of it, and I was like, "Damn, I really want to try that." She's like, "I have 2 or 3 more bottles in my fridge," and I was like, "Oh, cool." She was like, "Well, if you don't mind, do you want one?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I tried it, and when it was cold, it was good, but you really couldn't taste the pickles. I mean, you got like a little saltiness of it, and like that texture. That shit got warm, bro. Not good. Not good.
Some
Like
sour ass pickle juice.
it was just like a sour fucking tea, and it was so gross. So I put it right back in my fridge. Like I had Xander try it, Brandy try it, and Brandy's like, "I really can't taste it." I was like, "Yeah, because it's like really cold, but if it starts getting a little warm, oh, you're gonna taste it for sure." Like, yeah.
Fuck all that noise.
I was like, I'd rather just have a pickleback, a little pickle juice, and fucking whiskey. Call it a day. It's fine. Yeah, and that's another thing about Splash Lagoon. They don't do shots. And I'd imagine,
Well,
like, then I thought, okay,
they
maybe
can't
a
have
glass.
people getting too turned up here.
Dude, motherfuckers were tuned. Like,
Well, they probably had their own shit.
yeah, that's for sure. And then, like, it's a it's a smoke free facility,
Yeah.
so I can't vape in there. So me and Bill are running into the fucking men's room like fucking kids in high school. It's like, oh, okay. Like, didn't it change? We're like switch, like rotating like a revolving door through a fucking changing room. And I was like, Bill, I feel like I'm in fucking high school again. Like kids smoking in the fucking bathroom. And he is like, they used to do that. I was like, you have no idea. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Very sorry. I said, I said they did a lot of things in those bathrooms back in the day, bro. All right.
Yep.
I said, but I said, just keep watching my ass so nobody comes in. And I was doing the same with him. But then he had his Benjamin with him, so he would hit that, and then he would walk back out, and then hand it to Kevin, and then Kevin would go. I was like, "Look at us, we are the fucking worst. We are the worst." But it's like we made a good time out of it and had a good time. But it's just eerie. Erie's just like you're up there. It's a wild fucking joint, man.
Speaking to the, it's not a choir because I don't think.
That's preaching to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ain't
I
nobody
mean,
preaching.
sometimes you have to.
Preach.
I'll preach, but I ain't singing.
But I tell you what, man, we went to like that Mill Creek Mall, and again, if anybody from Erie watches the podcast or whatever, I'm not knocking your shit. It's just I haven't seen an FYE, and I don't fucking know how
I
long.
feel, I feel like that mall has everything you would need back when we were teenagers. Like you said, like there's an FYE, there's a Lids, there's a Hot Topic, there's a couple sneak like Foot Locker, I think Finish Line. Um,
Yeah, there's some other different shoes that like a hometown sport thing.
yeah, there's a couple randos shops like, and it's just like, and that's all there is. It's not like a big mall. Like,
No, I mean it has like it has its big things like a Macy's or Forever 20, like the
yeah,
Commons, but that is like that one hometown sports, whatever the hell it is. I could spend easily 4 grand in that store
they have one down on the south side.
because I love that store so much because you go in there like we do as a fan of sports.
Well, and my thing is too is I feel like hometown sports is like it's like an in between. Like it's not as cheap as going down the strip, but it's not expensive as like buying from like the NFL shop or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like a little in between. Like you can pay a couple bucks, but not a ton of bucks.
But the crazy part is like their hats are so there's everything. Like, you know what I
Mm,
mean? And then they go by like teams in alphabetical order. And I was like,
yeah.
reading it by viewing the team logo, like, oh, here's the Bills, here's the Bulls, here's blah, 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 bang, here's the Bees, here's this. And then I kept looking and I was like, there's two fucking Seattle Kraken fucking hats. And I was like, son of a bitch. Then I was like, here's a Seattle Supersonics. Here's an Expos one. There was a North Stars one. I mean, teams that aren't even there. Like, um, who's the one? Atlanta, not the Atlanta Falcons.
For
The
what?
Atlanta Thrashers were there.
Oh, NHL.
Like
Yeah.
the old NHL team. I was like, holy shit. Like there
Yeah.
was a lot of
I
shit.
I got my Seattle hat. I got one hat when they first did. Like I always, because you know me, like hockey is my sport. We've talked about this before. So like
Mhm.
when there's like a new expansion team, like I want to get a hat to add it to my collection. But something with that Seattle team, like it just, I love their concept. I love their color scheme, their jersey stuff, their logos. And then, there's some like, as we always do here in like we tie things to Pittsburgh. Like there was some former players, some like their coaching staff and GMs and stuff all have Pittsburgh ties. Like,
Right.
so they kind of came like my Western Conference team. But I don't know. Like I already found it. I'm broke, so I can't buy anything. But the new Utah team,
Yeah.
their shit just came out, and I was telling Mike this, and I'll tell you this because I don't know if you know yet. Um, the NHL got a contract back with New Era, so this hockey season that starts in a month or so, there's already NHL New Era gear on the New Era
Yeah.
website. I'm like, that is the best thing ever.
It's about fucking time. Because I'm like,
Well, it was because of Fanatics. Like when Fanatics took over, well, actually, no, it wasn't really Fanatics. It was more, I think, the Adidas. Because Adidas threw a ton of money at the NHL,
yeah, I do remember that.
and then it only lasted like 2 seasons or whatever. But then the product was just junk. Everybody was complaining. The jerseys were horrible. So then Fanatics came in, and Fanatics took over everything. And they were also kind of being stingy, but I think they realized, like, because Fanatics carries New Era product, so it's like it's not like Adidas. Adidas isn't gonna fucking put New Era product on their site.
Yeah,
Where
that's true.
Fanatics covers every clothing hat
Yeah,
company there
everything.
is.
Yeah.
So it's like they're like, well, we already have a deal with New Era, so why not let them jump back in? Because that's just only going to help them sell product.
Right.
So I was
I mean, that's
excited.
so cool. That's real cool.
Like right now, like if you go to New Era's website and you go to their NHL section, every team has a traditional fitted, um, a snapback, like like a dad hat or whatever the kids are calling them nowadays.
Yeah.
And then like I think maybe a stretch fit, like a stretchy fit hat. So they got like one hat to cover everything. It's just team colors, like the Penguins, black logo. And instead of having the NHL logo on the back of the fitted, it says like Pittsburgh Penguins, like they're in their font, like their,
Yeah.
logo writing. And it's the same thing with other teams. Like the Seattle one, I looked to see what their Seattle hat was. And theirs is sick because it's navy blue with the S.
Yeah.
And then on the back, it says Kraken in the Kraken letters.
That's cool.
So, but I already have, like I said, I bought a Kraken fitted. So I bought one hat, and I actually have two Kraken hat. Actually, I have three.
You're
Jesus
just
Christ,
cracking Krakens.
I'm Kraken. I I got caught up. If we're talking, well, I guess we continue this little sports talk here real quick. I got caught up with watching McAfee on Friday in Ireland, and then College Game Day officially started on Saturday, and they were in Ireland. And so they had Seamus was like their host for the
Yeah.
whole weekend in Ireland. And he has said it on wrestling before, and he was saying it a ton over the weekend. He always says, "What's the crack?"
Yeah.
And I'm always like, "What the fuck does that mean? Do you know what it?" like, I mean, I know it's like a slang thing. Like, I know they're not
Like an
talking
Irish
about,
slang.
yeah, they're not talking about like cocaine. Like, what's the cocaine? Like, they just say, what's the crack? And finally, I think it was McAfee or one of the guys from the show finally said, like, when an Irish person says, what's the crack? Like, if you hear Sheamus say it on wrestling tonight or whatever, it's kind of like, it means, what's the story? Like, what's,
Oh, okay.
like, kind of like, what's the plan? What's the story? What are we
Yeah.
doing type of thing, you know? So I was like, oh. So now that I knew what it meant, it's kind of been like embedded in my brain. So I just like,
Right. What's the crack?
I was like, hey, what's the crack, bro?
Well, what's the crack, bro? All of a sudden, dude be like, I got like 6 bucks for like, knock that shit.
Yeah. I
What's the
said crack with a
plan,
K, not
homie?
a C.
Yeah.
I don't know if they spell it with a C or a K, but I'm just
Right.
saying.
But hey, whatever works.
I got to
I,
specify here in the city.
they of course like they have like TVs on in their little bar in Splash Lagoon.
Yeah.
And I was coming out of the way for something. I'd go use the bathroom, and I peeked over, and I was like, "Is that the fucking Steeler game?" And
Oh, the lines. Yeah.
I was like, "That's the Steeler game." And I went in, and did my fucking went to the bathroom, came back out. I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." And I just went back in the water, and then I was looking over it, like I think it was like the Panthers were playing somebody or the Chargers were playing. I forget the Bills or something like that. And I was like, "That's more interesting." Like, okay. I was like, "Turn that shit off." Like,
Yeah.
but I I said something, I forget what I was saying, that brought me to this hat. I said, I was talking, I think that bartender or one of the people, one of the lifeguards. And I was just telling them that, like, I'm really interested in your minor league team. And he's like, "Oh, like the minor league baseball teams." And I was like, "No, minor league fucking hockey. I don't know, dude." I was like,
They have both.
but my boy is very into the minor league baseball teams. And some of those hats are really sick. Like some of the just the mascot or whatever.
Yeah. There's
And he
crazy
was
shit.
like, "Yeah." And then he was like, "Well, you should go get a Seawolves hat." And I was like, "It's what I plan on doing. Like I'm here." Well, get the pinata one. Pardon? Like to me, it wasn't adding up. Like the Seawolves and a pinata. Like I wasn't putting them together to save my
Yeah.
life.
So what it is the minor leagues every year do a theme. They wear hats and jerseys, and they celebrate like Mexican or Spanish heritage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And it's called like festival something. And I think if I'm correct, this I could be wrong about. They, I think they do it. They try to do it around Cinco de Mayo because you figure baseball's in season then. But I
yeah.
could be wrong. So yeah, that's the Erie one. That one's pretty cool. You get ones with like uh with maracas and
I mean, I'm
margaritas
down
on
for that
them.
too. But it was
There's
just
one with a
wild.
chihuahua on it.
It was just wild. This shit I was seeing, and I was like, "Oh, these are minor league teams." And then I was like, "But I mean, like that kind of like switched in my
Mhm.
head, like with the weight off." I was like, "That's all the stuff you've been having is like minor leagues and stuff like that." And I was like, "Yeah, I was like, regardless, I want that fucking pinata hat. Here it is."
Yeah, yeah, that's one I um we try to get we didn't go because we didn't go to Erie at all this summer just with everything going on at home. But when we do go up, like we try to make it to at least one, two games because they're dirt cheap. You can get tickets for like $10.
Yeah,
And the ballpark, the food's not expensive. You're paying, you're not paying like PNC Park prices. You're paying, you know, $2 for a hot dog,
yeah,
whatever, get some fries. Um, they try to do some fancy shit sometimes, um, but it's a fun time. I mean, and again, we pay like $10 to sit, and we sit in the same section, almost the same exact row every time. We sit either one or two rows back from the field on like behind home plate, like right by
okay.
the dugout.
Yeah,
So it's cool. Again, it's cheap. Their parking's like $5. You just park because our place is only 15 minutes from the ballpark.
Yeah.
So it's like for if we're up there and need something to do for the evening, we just go up to
Sure.
a game and check it out. And that's where my Erie, and again, like I ran into a dude. I went to Raw last time it was here with Mike and John, and um, I wore my Wise Man shirt. And I think you've seen me wear it before with that shirt. It's a black hat with the white wolf with the red
Yeah.
outline. That's an
They
Erie
had it.
Seawolf.
They had it at Lids, and I was gonna get it.
That's
But
their Hallow. That's one of their like Hallow. They call it the Howl at the Moon uniform.
yeah.
That's actually one they wear. But so I was wearing it. Well, I'm at PPG Arena wearing that hat with my red and black Wise Man gear.
Yeah.
This dude catches me and he goes, "Hey, Erie fan?" And I was like, "Kind of." Like, I was
Yeah.
like, "I have a summer place up there, so we go to some games." I was like, "But I'm not like a diehard Erie." But you would think I would be
Right.
because, like, we were talking off air. Like, you saw what is like they call it their winter theme hat,
Yeah.
which is a sick hat. I was like, "Oh, I want that one
It really
too."
is nice, bro. It's a really cool hat.
I think Levy bought their military hat. We were up there one time. Mike went to a game with us, and he bought their like it was like their salute to service hat, and it was like a military camo hat, and the wolf was wearing a fucking an old school like military bucket, like the like
Yeah.
Vietnam like looking
Yep.
ones, with the strap hanging down. I was like, dude, they didn't have them in my size, or I would have probably grabbed one of those too.
Well,
But you would think that we were like diehard Erie fans, and that's the crazy part. Connected, it's connected to the Erie Seawolves baseball field
yeah.
is the Erie Otters minor league hockey team.
Right.
So like if they hit a home run out into left field, it hits the arena. The arena's got
Oh, right
like
there.
it's painted so that they can see where the fucking wall is
Where the yeah.
because they hit it and it bounces back into the field of play. But as long as it goes over the yellow line and hits the building, it's considered a home run.
Right. Um, we were. I think these are the minor leagues for the Detroit Tigers.
Yes, they're linked to the Tigers.
So I was telling Brandy that when we went into dinner, when we came home, we stopped at
Mhm.
Buffalo Wild Wings. And as I'm telling her this, I looked up, and that's when the Pirate game they did that home run, or what is it, the walk off home run from
Oh,
Sunday.
last night,
Yeah, and
or yesterday. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, of course, we leave, we come back, and the Pirates fucking do something crazy and catastrophic.
yeah. Who run Homer won the game?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. They're part of Detroit, and the cool part is their farm system is in the same division or conference, whatever you want to call it, as the Pirates out the Altoona Curve.
yeah,
So sometimes we'll try to plan it. Like the last game we went to, Altoona was playing in Erie. So that's when Mike went with us. We wore our Altoona Curve gear there. I was like, I don't give a fuck where I'm at.
right.
I'm repping. I gotta rep the squad, like that's Pirates team. Like,
You gotta do what you gotta do, bro, for sure.
but it's cool. Like, and the players, because they're all young kids. Like, these are kids that are getting drafted either out of high school or young college dudes. So it's cool to get to see like the young prospects play, but they're just really cool dudes. Like the first game we went to, we did a whole family thing. Like Donna, Jane, we all went, and we were sitting at the dugout, and we were playing the Philadelphia minor league team, the Phillies minor league team. Well, I can't say we. I say we again, like I root for Erie, but Erie was playing the Phillies team, and we were standing there, and Jane had a baseball, and she was because the one dude gave her a foul ball or whatever, and she was asking like the one dude to sign it, and then the other dude came over. Oh no, I hate this shit. This fucking fat slob like lives in his mother's basement, card collector, like pushes his way in front of her to get signatures on baseball cards. Did you know he's gonna fucking go on eBay and sell?
Yeah, hands down.
So the one dude, so like I went down and said something, and like I wasn't gonna cause a fight, especially with my kid there. You know what I mean? But I just was like, I kind of pushed my way in to get her back up front. Like, bro, this is my kid. Like, what the fuck, you know? And the one Phillies dude, like, I guess he kind of saw what happened, so he walked over and he handed her his bat, and
Oh
he was
wow.
like, "Here," and he signed it for her, and she still has it to this day. I don't even know if I have to look it up and see if where the kid's at now,
Where the guys at now?
but yeah, he gave her his bat and then signed it for her and shit.
That's
Like,
awesome.
they're cool, and that's what I mean. Like, we're sitting right there, you know. Like, it's a nice little night out. Like, so, you know,
Yeah.
if you guys ever want to, well, season's almost over now, but next summer you want to take little man up there, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
even if you guys just come up for the day, you know what I mean? Like, we'll probably stay. I mean, you guys are more welcome to stay, but
Yeah. You owe me a baseball game anyway.
yeah, I know.
But you know, it's some damn Philly people. So but I'm still in the middle of it, you know.
Well, you know, Philly
Could be worse.
could be Mets fans, like you know, other people here
Could be New York.
from New York.
Don't be hating.
We're gonna change your name. I thought about this. We're gonna change your name on there. Instead of it saying Samantha, it's gonna say Sambino for the great Sambino. Just because she hates the Yankees.
You would.
And then it
I
doesn't make
would.
it any better that he would end up being like a fucking Red Sox too. So it was just like, yeah,
Yeah, I haven't really followed the Red Sox in a
I'm
while.
not a
I
Red
can't say I
Sox
gave
fan
up on
either.
them, but they just stop.
So
John.
hey, look at you! You got some licensing going on over there. Get it? Get it? I love it. Congratulations.
Only, thank you. Only took 2 years. We're good. Did
Yeah,
it.
right. Yeah. So
That
now
is
you
that. I have to hold on. Is that a
good.
Lamb of God shirt you're wearing?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Okay.
She
It's
had to
it's one of
stand
the
up
things
because she's so little. She's like, fuck, for God's sakes.
hold on. I gotta get a stool.
She just had the chair. It was like a nice office chair. It was like, then she's like, this
Yeah.
motherfucker.
That's with
No,
all my Zoom meetings. We'll
listen,
be all
real
right.
quick. Wife is gonna yell at me from the other room. We went to the eye doctor on Saturday, and Donna went before me, and I went to go get in the chair after her, and I looked at the tech guy that was running the equipment, and he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and I look at him, and he's looking at me, and he goes, "Oh, you can't get in there, can you?" And I was like, "That is so high." He goes, "Sorry, your wife is so little. I had to raise the chair up in the air." I was like, he said it, not me, but he knew what I
Yeah,
was
right.
thinking. I was like, there's no way I'm hopping in this. It was like, there was no way. It was like worse than trying to hop on a bar stool. Like, it was high. I was like, damn. Like,
And the
I didn't
worst
even
thing
know
is,
the eye
I've
chair
seen
went that
Samantha
high.
hop on a bar stool. So
Yeah. I was
just
like,
saying. So I
like,
feel bad for you, bro.
I was like, what the hell? I was like, damn.
Right?
And yeah, I come out, my kid's laughing at me. She goes, what happened in there? And I was like, don't, just walk away, walk
Can you
away.
imagine if you were doing like your eye stuff and you were just up high and you're just like, hold on.
Yeah, no, that's kind of like what like I felt like that was what because I'm like looking at him and he's looking at me like he's like, why aren't you getting in the chair? And I'm like, excuse me,
I'd be like,
like,
you get in the fucking chair. Like,
look,
jeez.
he looked like this guy. It was the first time we've seen this guy. He was Rey Mysterio height, but looked like Andrade. Like, I mean, he had the shit kicking those fancy ass boots and his fucking tight pants on. I was like, well, look at this guy.
So now I have a question.
Yeah.
Did his boots have spurs on them? Because if so, I'm going tomorrow.
It sounded like they did, but he
I just
didn't.
want
Like
him
with
to be like, I just need an eye exam, but can you leave the room and come
no,
back in
he
when it's
did
all dark? So it's like tink, tink, tink. And then I'll
no.
like,
Like have you ever been around somebody that wears like a cowboy boot or like a work boot that has that kind of like bottom sole with the heel type thing on it, and they have that like it's like a distinct sound when they walk. Like it's you
does it
can
almost sound like a woman in heels? Like that click, click.
kind of, but it's like a heavier. Like that's what it sounded like when he was walking.
So it's more like a clack than a
Kind of,
click.
yeah. I mean, he was carpet, so it wasn't like he was on tile, but
If
it
he was
was.
still making some noise on some carpet, those are some fancy shoes.
He walked out of the exam room to go get, I guess, like Jane's paperwork, because we just did a whole family thing. So he went to go get Jane's paperwork, and I could hear him coming back from across the fucking eye doctor place. I'm like, damn.
He's letting you know he's coming. That's all it was.
Oh, I knew he was coming.
Oh, for
And
sure.
And then, I mean, he had to raise the chair up a little bit for me to get my eyes level with the machine. But then, but then, as we were all done, he goes, hold on. Don't jump. I'll lower it for you. And I was like, it ain't that fucking high. Like,
It's not that crazy, guy. Like,
Yeah.
what's the problem?
like I can step off of this height, like not the other one. Like,
Yeah, the other one, I'd be like, did the pitfall break? What are we doing? Why can't I get down? And or like when you're in like the swings at like Kennywood or an amusement park, and
Oh,
your
yeah.
feet are just dangling. You're just like, oh, now I live here now. That's fine.
yeah, pretty
I
much.
just don't
Yeah.
See, don't even get me started on amusement park rides because I have to like literally hop and climb into them in order to like, yeah.
I was not trying to even insinuate anything. You just praise it for it. Like
Yeah.
it's fine. But it's just I could only imagine where it's like, okay, you have to like I'm waiting for some dickhead to be like, you have to be this tall, and you're like, why don't you go fuck yourself? Like, okay. Like, you see I'm in these fucking big ass gothic fucking boots? I can get on them. All right? Don't fuck with me. But I could only imagine like you're in like some of them and then just feet dangling and you're like, son of a bitch. It's fine. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. But I can only imagine you hobbling into a car. See what you did? Now I'm over here going, like, damn, this poor woman.
It happened.
God damn. That's fucking hilarious. Dude. So you are now officially a licensed therapist.
I am officially a licensed professional counselor in the state of Pennsylvania. Yes.
Look, that's what I'm talking about.
What, have you been working illegally this whole time?
No.
Not an immigrant.
No, it just basically means that I had to be working underneath the supervision of an LPC.
Yeah.
So now that I have my license, I don't necessarily need to be working underneath the supervision of another.
So does
She's
the
like, now
schedule
I can
stay
have
the
somebody
same?
under me, bitch.
Does the
Pretty
schedule stay the
much.
same? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm now able to supervise others, but I'm also at this point able to open my own practice if I wanted to. So
I was like, so you watch over
We can
people and
get
you
you. We
start
can
laying.
probably get you a lot of clientele. We know some motherfuckers.
I was like, I was like, I know a couple, but like now you just sit there and use your authority and lay the hammer down. I see what you're doing.
Yep, that's it.
But they're like,
No,
but you can't lean over somebody. You just get next to them, like right here. You're like, the fuck did I say? What the fuck did I say? Where the fuck you come from? You know where I came from, motherfucker. Let's go. Do this right.
No, I do have a 5-year goal though, where in the next 5 years I do plan on getting certified as a trauma therapist, also getting certified as a sex therapist, and then moving on over to Connecticut. But I do plan on moving back to Connecticut in the 5 years and starting my own practice there, getting my licensure endorsement over there, and then this way I can still see clients both in Connecticut and PA.
Why Connecticut?
It's closer to my parents. It's also easier for the licensure endorsement in Connecticut than it is of New York. New York is just a bitch when it comes to licensure.
Right. She was saying Connecticut, and that was a new one for me. I was like, is it a boy? Tell me about this boy. I was going to be somebody's grandmother real quick. Tell me about this boy, Samantha.
No. I made that mistake once. We'll not do it again.
Right? But, I mean, we have you here because of a boy in a way, so.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
But, yeah, I mean, that's cool. It's closer to your folks and whatnot, and that's awesome. And so... I'm sure it's on Eric's mind for sure when you said sex therapist.
Yes.
So
she's like, look, what that old lady died. That old lady died a couple weeks ago. She's like, I got to take her place.
Yes, she was my role model. I love Dr. Ruth.
She's like, somebody's got to take the torch and keep on going.
Right.
Or it's not a torch, it's a dildo, and they keep on going.
I want to be able to help clients, particularly who have struggled with infertility, infidelity, women of domestic violence of some sort who are trying to trust their partner now because of past trauma, things of that nature.
Right, because it can be especially people in domestic relationships, like abuse relationships, getting even that feel of touch, or
Mm-hmm.
just even if somebody like brushes their hand up on their shoulder or something, it's traumatizing, and that
Yes.
And that's
person
what I weigh all the time. You touch
should
me
not be
and
a
I get the
domestic fucking
tingles and
abusive
I feel
relationship.
weird and I don't like it.
But I mean, like you said, it's hard for them to kind of get back into the groove,
Yes.
Yeah.
and it takes a
That's why
hell of a long time.
I think
Mm-hmm.
that's like the crazy thing is like you said sex therapist, and yes I giggled and laughed, but I knew like there's so much more to it than people are like, oh, she just
Mm-hmm.
all she talks about is sex. And it's like, no, like there's so much more behind that, like
Mm-hmm.
that you could like that people struggle with. And it's like, you
Yeah,
know,
it's probably just the title. If correct me if I'm wrong, but I'd imagine it's like sex therapist, but it has like subcategories to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah, that's
sure.
why I want to be certified in trauma and sex therapy so that I could combine the two. Because when you're talking about SA survivors, they can indeed have a hard time getting back into relationships due to the fact of their past. Can they trust
Right,
this person?
100%. Like, I feel bad for those people because it's like the partner thinks it's them. That's like
Mm-hmm.
the first thing, but in the same sense, in a way, I feel like they're selfish. Like, it's like a good and bad. Like, you feel
Mm-hmm.
selfish that it's you. You think it's you. It's not really you. Some people don't have the patience, but
Right.
you want to be there. So you're you definitely need to be there, because there's so
Mm-hmm.
many people where it's like, well, I'm doing not enough, or I'm doing not it's too much, but then the person's like, if you just give me time, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
that works, or sometimes that time is not enough.
yeah, because
Or
then
Right.
there, I mean, on that sense too, I feel like not only is there like partners that think it's their fault that the person that went through
Mm-hmm.
the trauma doesn't like them now, but then there's also those partners that are probably like they're dicks about it, and they're like
Yeah.
they want to like rush this situation, and like, and if they're not, like, well, this is like fifth date, we're not in bed yet, like fuck this bitch, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like,
right,
you know so which is
Yeah.
terrible too, because like you said, Paul, like, hey, like if you're a caring and understanding person, then you should care and understand what that person went through and respect their
Right.
whatever
yeah, I
process.
mean their vibe, their process, eat hell, their boundaries, like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
all of it, you know
See,
and it go ahead.
I was going to say, that's my number one rule. If you have a partner and they cannot respect your boundaries, peace the fuck out.
Yeah,
Leave.
what the fuck are
Dead
you doing?
ass.
See ya, Paul, get out.
Well, this has been great anyway. No, but I mean, like, I feel that 110%. If you can't, just a regular relationship, if you can't respect my boundaries, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yep.
like, honest to God. But again, like to piggyback off you, Eric, if there are, I'd imagine it's predominantly more men, and that's just me. You can correct me, Sam, if I'm wrong. It's probably more guys going, well, what the fuck? Why is this not happening? Why aren't we doing this? We
Mm-hmm.
should be doing this by now. And then if you go into this and that they were SA'd
Mm-hmm.
or domestically abused, like, and you're still in there with that mentality, like, what the fuck? Again, why the fuck are you here? Like,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
What do you think, it was gonna
And
just be easy?
there are so many guys out there, and I don't want to put this on men because there are a lot of men who have also been
You
in those situations.
motherfuckers.
Um,
Oh my
and
God.
but their partner, whether a male or female, some of them do try to take advantage of that, and some will coerce, and some will manipulate, and some will
Yep.
pressure and make them feel guilty of to be like, well, what, society says it's our third date. Why haven't you given in? But then we get the roles switch. You'll get the ones who were like, it's the third date, why aren't we sleeping together? And then you also get them who are like, well, if we haven't slept together, then you're a prude and you're a bitch. But then if you do sleep with somebody on like the first date or even the third date, you get some of those that are like, well, now you're a hoe, now you're easy, and it's like, where is the middle? Because at this point, it sounds like nobody's winning.
Well, if you think about it in retrospect, I don't believe there is a middle. Like
No.
because you either are on like one end of the spectrum or the other,
Hmm.
100%. But then like I believe now, and I'm just speaking for myself, but like being in your 40s, it shouldn't be so quick, 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 quick. Because yeah,
Nope.
you get it out there, you have your fun, you do your thing and whatnot. But if you don't build anything and it's
Hmm.
just sex and it's more of a sexual connection, then you really have nothing to go off. There's no concrete to this foundation. You might as well just throw it the fuck on out. Like it's just you're a fuck buddy or whatever.
Hmm.
You know, it's just, there's no point to
See,
it.
that's where I have a problem with my date with dating because I classify as demisexual. That means that I literally do not have sex with anyone until I have more of a connection with them on an emotional and spiritual level.
I
Like
just thought
I
you were like
literally
a
am not attracted
demigod.
to you without it.
That's it. I thought you were just a demigod because you're like this little demon, and now we're just going over here.
Says it on her damn shirt right there. I mean,
But no, I mean like that's fair too. Like if you don't, I feel now in my 40s, if you don't feel it,
Hmm.
there's no point. You
No.
know what I mean? And it like if you're patient and if it comes, it comes. It doesn't have to be the solid part of it. Sure, it's
Hmm.
there. It's there. And if you like some people don't feel sexually attracted to somebody, like if they'll say like, well, why aren't you sexually attracted? Bro, I'm there. It's just like it happens. When it happens, it'll
Hmm.
happen. But I mean,
Right.
I'm personally seriously in no rush no more. Like
Mm-mm.
it's done. Because when I was doing O face, that it came and went. Like
Hmm.
I'm not getting no like gratification or justification. There's nothing happening there because it was like, okay, either I was actually peace out or like I wasn't feeling it, or they would do the same thing. So it's like that's why I never really liked online dating because it was just very
Hmm.
peace out. Like,
Yep.
okay, we get it, Tinder. Like, all right, like we got it.
Yeah.
That's what it
I don't
is.
Do you know
know.
how many? Do you know how many unsolicited pictures I would get on a daily after? Like, hey, how are you? I'm doing great.
Yeah,
Hey, okay, enough chit chat. Let's talk about my penis. Like, come on.
it's here my dick. Anyway, it's like, hey, there's an eggplant. You sure? It looks like a snail, but okay, whatever. But yeah, it's so fast. Like it just blinked it. There it is. It's like you don't even
Hmm.
ask for it. Here's my dick. What the fuck?
These kids
Yep.
nowadays got it so fucking easy.
Super easy, man.
First off, we didn't have camera phones. Second off, you had to take them out. You had to meet somebody out at the club or at the bar, and you had to put in the work. And then there was a whole some shit.
That's the thing now is there's no effort. There's no effort.
Hmm.
Minimum effort.
There's no effort in life in general nowadays.
That's true. There is none.
Why should it stop in the bedroom?
Yeah, right. Let me text you what I'm gonna do. You're right here next to me. Yeah, it's
See,
like
that's
is
the
that
one
it?
thing that I try to work on with my clients, like the families. I will literally be in front of parents who would want to like, I'd be like, "Can you bring our client to session today? Like, can you please just go get our our client?" And all of a sudden, the mom will be sitting next to me. She's like, "Yeah, yeah, let me go text them." No, get up, walk the steps, go get him.
That's it. I swear to God. Like that's what I like about me and Ashley with Xander. If there's a like if I'm on a FaceTime call with him and just this is a little similar to that. If my thing is he'll sit there and you can hear her parenting him.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden I'll hear, I'm busy. I'll instantly be like, yo, what the fuck did she just say? Like what did mom just
Hmm.
say? She asked me to take out the dogs. Cool. Go take out the dogs, give me the phone to your mom and go. Like, go. But then there's certain times where like I went to pick him up and I forget what it was. It was one of those scenarios like or I was going to drop him off and he was in his phone. And I was like, well, what are you doing? I'm gonna call mommy. She's right there. Like,
Hmm.
go. Like, just go. You don't the door's open. You really don't have to call her. She's looking right at me. Like, hey, how are you? You know?
Yep.
I, you know, but I get I mean, and it's not in this case, it's not different for him because it's just how they are now. Where it's like, oh, let me blah, blah, or call them, and I'm like, one-on-one interaction is not hard. It's
No.
not hard at all. Like even some adults do that too. Well, hey,
Hmm.
why don't you go talk to them? Oh, well, let me text them. He's right up them steps.
Yep.
Like he's right in his office. What do you need to fucking text him for?
Hmm.
I when I was at work, um, that was one thing. Like they like especially a lot of like going to the doctors and all this shit that I'm dealing with now. They're like, "Oh, what do you do for work?" And I'm like, "Oh, I this is what I do, and I have a desk job." They're like, "Oh, desk job," and I'm like, time out, time out. I don't just sit on my ass all fucking day. Like, if
Right.
I need a doctor to sign off on some paperwork, or I gotta pass a message along, or this or that, like, instead of just emailing it or do the whole digital thing that they're trying to incorporate in the office, I get up, I go find the doctor, and we'll physically hand him the papers. Like, hey, 2 seconds. Can you sign this? It's for so and so. This is what it is. Like, because I can't just sit. Like, it bothers me just to sit in front of my computer all day at work. Like, I just hate it. Like, I need to move. But there's other people that are just like, why do you do that? Like, why don't you just send them a digital copy and then they'll electronically sign it and send it back? And I'm like, no, because then also, like, it's just like what people say, like, when you send a text, sometimes the message you're trying to get across or
Hmm.
your like mood of the message is read wrong. And
Yeah.
it's like the same thing with just these doctors. Like, I'm sending you a message, but you might not be understanding exactly what's wrong. Or I'm not completely medically trained. So it's like you might say something to me, and I'm like, I have no fucking idea what you just said. I'd rather come find you and you explain it to me.
Right.
Oh,
Hmm.
this is what you need. Okay, I'll do it then.
I've
Like, it's
said
just
that
so much
hands down.
easier to have face interaction.
I've said that
Hmm.
so many times. I think actually me and Sam have talked it. You can never get emotion through a fucking text message or a
No.
Mm-mm.
letter or anything typed or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, you could kind of understand somebody's emotions through a handwritten letter. But a computer, it's just you're typing it. No, there's no emotional connection. Like there's nothing. There's you can't tell somebody's tone of their voice or how they're feeling by you know just like a typed out message.
Hmm.
So that's horrible. And what you did instead of digitally sending it over, waiting on the electronic signature, who the fuck knows how long that could have took? You took
Yeah.
2 seconds, went, got it, came back. Look how long that
Hmm.
was.
Yeah, because it's like, I'm like, how do I know how often they're checking their email or their inbox that I sent that message? Like, I'm gonna go find him and say, listen, right now, right this second, bang. Okay, thank you. Walking away. Like, I got some steps in, got up out of my chair, got what I needed. We're good.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
called. I'm gonna get it done like now.
Yeah, like
Hmm.
it baffles me because like they're just trying to like they're trying to switch, like UPMC is trying to do everything so digital world now, which I understand. Like they're trying to cut back on. You'll like this one. I don't think I've never told you this one. They were like, oh well, we're trying to cut back on paperwork and no more like actual handheld faxes. Like everything's digital fax. And I'm like, bro, I was like, I got a buddy that he needs that kind of shit. That's how he earns a living. Like if we don't got physical papers, he's got a job. And they're like, huh? And I'm like, he works for a shred company. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but the thing is though, is it like
There's
contrary to
still
that,
so much out there that'll
there's
never go
still
away.
so much, bro.
And that's what
Hmm.
I mean. Like I still like the only time I do digital fax is when I'm working from home because I don't have a machine at home. But when
Naturally.
I'm in office, the fax machine is right in the same hallway as my office. So it's like I just walk my ass again out of my office, go over to the fax machine and send. And then I have like hard copy digital proof. That way, if the parent's like, well, I never got such and such. And I'm like, guess what? I know
It's
you
always
didn't. I
great to
got a
have a fucking backup,
successful
though.
receipt on that bitch.
Yeah,
Like,
it's always great to have a
Yeah.
backup.
I was
yeah.
gonna say I'm
So,
still old school with my therapy techniques because like I still print out papers. Like when I do psychoeducation with my clients, I will print out the papers, the articles, the information, and I will go over it with them, even with the highlighter in session so that they can visually see it, hear me tell them so that they can grasp what they are learning.
I don't know what you said, but you fucked Eric up so bad that he had to take his camera. He
yeah,
was like,
well,
wait, a highlighter? What are we studying for a test? Where's the syllabus? He's like, I don't know what's happening.
no,
Like,
no. Like my kid, she, back to school this week. and she was doing some. Her psychology teacher sent them summer homework, so she was finishing up her stuff to take to school with her, and I was like, "What's that purple thing in your hand?" She was like, "It's a highlighter," and I'm like, "I didn't know you kids still did that kind of shit." Like, I thought that was a thing of the past. That was dinosaur ages.
Well,
No.
the thing is, like, if that's how Sam's doing it, like taking an actual highlighter. But the
Yeah,
thing is, like, that's her doing the paper copies and making sure everything's legit. But then our phones do highlighters too.
yeah,
You can highlight anything now. Like that's what we do with like our IEPs. Like me and Xander's mom have demanded that we get electronic and paper,
yeah,
just so we can go back through it ourselves. And I highlight certain things, she highlights certain things, and then we like kind of mix it up. Like, okay, well, what did you think? What did you see? And it's like, all right, cool, stuff like that.
yeah.
But it's I don't know. It's better for me to always have a backup. That's why I always have to have
Yeah, you can't trust digital nowadays. I mean, look how much shit's getting fucking hacked and
right.
stolen. And
Like,
That and the fact that, like, I mean, because I just attended an IEP meeting this morning, and I remember fighting the school. Like, I was like, no, we need paper copies. We're going to put this in his IEP that he needs paper copies. And they were just like, well, we're trying to be environmental friendly. I was like, okay, but even if you email it, do you know how many times it could go in the junk folder, spam folder? How many times the parents may lose it, not see it? They may,
yep.
accidentally delete it. Like, we need it in paper form. Get on it and make sure it's in the IP.
Like
yeah,
how fucking hard is it? Like it's really
Right?
not hard. And then it being environmental friendly. I'm the first one that'll tell you I don't think they are. And he's like, regardless, because they'll sit there
Yeah.
like I can't put for legal reasons. I can't put a certain client on blast, but for
text it
every
to me. I'll do
client,
it.
like we have this client, every client that comes into their facility, they have to scan their information, upload it, and then they throw away the copy, the paper copy.
Mm,
So, but then they're in the same boat, Sam, as they're like, oh, we're trying to be environmentally conscious. I'm like, the fuck you are,
Mm-hmm.
because you're literally taking every. So if you have 25 clients, it depends. You could have between 25 to 50 pieces of paper. So that's why they're so consistent. And then they'll sit there and go, oh man, we got a lot. Stop. Like I already know. Like if I know what you're doing, like
Mm-hmm.
I know your process, so of course you're gonna have a lot of shit. But then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get new management. We're gonna switch to electronic." I'm like, "That'll be the fucking day."
well,
Like,
and that's exactly what we're doing at work. Like they're trying to, like you said, they're like, "Oh, we're cutting back on the paper that's out there in the world." But it's like, okay, but I just watched you hand that mom 4 sheets of paper that need filled out, and then like you said, and then
Mm-hmm.
the parent will hand it back, and then I'm like, okay, so what you're basically doing is you're just trying to cut back on how much shit you have to store in the office.
yes,
That's what you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to do. Because like you said, then they'll scan it into the chart and then they have it now it's digitalized. And it's like, okay, well, what are you doing with all those 4 sheets of paper? Put them in the shred bin. What
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
what do you say? Like, I
right.
mean,
And
I don't
then
know if you've noticed, like I don't like I mean um they I'll have to give them some credit. Like they're trying to cut back on the paperwork they hand parents. Like now everything like if you ever gone to your dog, like I don't know if you guys do it, Sam, like everything's on tablets now.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of our stuff is like, okay, here, fill out this form and everything's digital. Like you just do everything on the tablet now and then they just give the tablet back to the receptionist and it's like, okay, I get that. Like that's being smart. But how about that other mom? You just like I said, and then she's
right,
like, "Oh, I got 3 kids being seen today. All right, well, here's 4 for each."
yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
So now she has 12 pieces of fucking paper when she could have just filled it out on a tablet, which could have took half the time.
Mm-hmm.
well,
Okay,
depending on some of
And
these parents we're dealing with, they ain't so tech savvy.
but see, tech savvy. I was going to get into that because, like, I work with parents, I work with grandparents, and a lot of times the grandparents are just like, I don't even know how to start a computer. You want me to do what? Like, this is what I need. So that's another reason why I like to keep paper because I don't know how they are going to process things. I don't know how they handle
Yeah,
things. Like, I need to make sure that they can get access to what they need, even if that is paper copy. But I'm
yeah,
also going to, address the elephant in the room here. Technology sucks. Do you know how many times I've gotten emails from my IT department to let me know that the main source that I have is down for a couple of hours? Well, great. Now I can't access any of my files. I can't figure out how to get parents to sign things that they need. So now that just fucks up my entire day because now I got to wait till IT can figure it out, which could take days.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
and
when I just
IT
pull
is
up
the slowest
YouTube
fucking
videos and sit
process
there and
ever.
watch YouTube videos. That's the only thing that fucking works.
Well, that's the thing is IT's too busy fucking around the entire time. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's legit. When I was working for Benshaw, you'd have a problem with our computers and IT. It'd be the simplest problem that I would end up knowing how to fix because I am kind of computer savvy, but I can't legally fix it because it has to be done by them. And I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I could have fixed this maybe in a couple hours, and it takes them weeks.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's like so. As you like, Paul knows. Like I said, I've been out of work. I've been out of work for we're going over a month now. So what's
Mm-hmm.
gonna happen is when I do get cleared to go back to work, I'm gonna be locked out of the system. I'm gonna have to get re-credentialed back in. They'll have to unlock all my stuff. They hit a fucking button. I have to call IT, give them all my info. Okay, we'll send it over to this team, and then this team sends it over to this team. And then my boss is like, "You've been here for 3 hours. Why didn't you log in yet?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm
The
locked
fuck
out.
if I know?
IT
Yeah.
hasn't unlocked my shit. And then that's what she's like, all they gotta do is just like hit unlock on their end. And I said, I know. Like if I could walk up there to the IT area, like well, it's in another part of Oakland, but if I could get there, I would just go hit the button myself.
Mm-hmm.
I know a guy. Tell me what building. I'll be like, turn the fucking shit on. One button. Give me your
Listen,
boxes. Let's go. I ain't got a fucking head.
my boss's husband is an IT guy for the company. And I'm like, can you just make a call? Like,
Yeah, but then it's almost like again, it's almost like what Sam said. Then you're making the call. Then that person's gonna take forever. My ass be
Mm-hmm.
walking. I'll be like, I'm fuck. I'll be back.
no, she told because again I asked her that and she said that it's like he can't because it's like then he's doing her a favor and it's like because they're married and the whole thing like he can answer questions for her like hey how do I do this or what can I do but if it's something they have to do we have to wait in line like a normal person and wait for
Yeah,
them to
like
get
the
to us.
IT tickets. Yeah, that's annoying as
Yeah,
fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because it's
and
like, don't get me
gotta
started.
love technology.
Don't get me started on that shit. Because it's like it's like they're just looking at your ticket like, oh, it's been like the third time Samantha's shit's been down. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and they're just like, well, fuck it, just put it back there. We'll get to it. Hey, this new fucking video's on YouTube. Oh, look, there's these jackasses on this podcast. Okay, fine.
So, like, my IT, there's this little old man. His name is Roy, and I love him to pieces, right? He's very experienced as an IT, but he is really, really slow. And I always go to him because of his expertise. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, Roy, I was like, I'm having trouble with this. Can you? And he'd be like, come on into the office on Wednesday. I'll be here. And I'll walk in and he'll sit there, do a little chit chat. But then it literally takes like anywhere from like 2 to 3 hours for him to complete one task.
So you just feel like you're watching Zootopia and it's the sloth and the DMV. You're just like,
Yes.
Roy, you haven't touched the fucking button yet, Roy. What you doing?
Like I've never had an issue with my computer last year, and I was like, I think I can figure it out. I just need your assistance. I need you to do one thing for. And he was like trying to figure it out, and he goes, "I'm just gonna give you a new computer. I don't feel like dealing with all this today."
Roy's so old school. He's just like, I fucking give up. I'm done.
He's
Like,
taking it beyond. He's taking it beyond the step of unplug it, wait 10 seconds, and plug it back in. He just
dude, he
says,
really
"Fuck
is
it."
like, he just takes the shit. He's like, fuck it. Anyway, we'll get you a new one. He don't even give a fuck. He's like, I don't have the time.
They're like, Roy, can we ask why you have the most swapped out computers and
Can
laptops
we
out of the
ask
whole
you, Roy,
department?
why your expense reports are out of this fucking world, Roy? Let me tell you, motherfucker, something.
He's like, I might spend the most, but I got the happiest clients.
But I got
I
the
get their
happiest.
shit done.
But I tell you what, my turnover rate is a fucking. You have no idea. I get them in and out, in and out. But you see that pile of laptops over there? Don't say nothing. I don't even know anymore. That one's been there. It's one of the old boxy ones. It's like 1992.
Joe,
The fuck?
he's got that secret stash under the desk. He just like Sam will turn in her old one, and he just out of nowhere pulls out a new one. Here you go.
Yeah, in a box, or it's already like in the laptop case and everything, and you're just
Yeah.
like, God damn, bro, you just be packing down there, bro. What
Roy
else
gets
you
there
got
early
back
so
there?
he can prep his workstation. He knows what he's doing for today.
Yeah, for real. He gets like 5 of them in a row, and he's like,
Yeah.
it's fine, it's got it. Oh my god! Shout out to Roy.
All righty, Roy.
Doing
Getting the
real
job
well,
done.
Roy. It's guys like you that makes the world go round. Oh my god.
I feel like he fits my dad's motto. My dad used to always tell me, I don't care how you get it done, just get it done.
Sounds like somebody
I
else's
live
dad.
by that motto too. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I was like, mine just told me that he's gonna come. We found an alternate solution for the paneling in the trailer, and he goes, "Well, I have this idea," and I was like, "Here we go." So as soon as he was telling me the idea, I was like, "Okay, I like it, and it's cost efficient." And like he wanted to do like this, like kills paint, and it would have been like really like smelling here, like very very strong paint smell.
Yeah.
And I didn't want it like if Xander was here, I don't know how long the smell will be here. Do I have to stay somewhere else? And he's like, oh no, we'll do it in sections. I was like, all right, but then he switched it to like sanding the paneling and then taking the little creases in between, and he's gonna like fill them up. He's doing that this week actually. And I was like, okay, well, do you want me to do it when you're not here? He's like, oh, whatever it takes, just get it the fuck done. That's great. But if you tell me, you have to tell me what the fuck I'm doing first. Like, whatever it takes. I don't know. You know what? Pudding. Let's just. You said whatever it takes. What's that? I don't know. Some of Xander's clay. You said. You never
That's
specified what it was.
that's some fucking Aquafresh toothpaste right there, Dad.
Yeah, right. Just get a little toothpaste in there. What's that? Colgate? Is that cinnamon, Dad? You crazy. I was wondering what my hallway smelled like fucking fall already. Like, what the fuck? What the hell is wrong
Listen,
with you?
that so I Sunday I took Jane to work. I come home and because of the heat, our door frame swelled up a little bit. So the screen door was catching and not closing all the way.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a hazard when you got pets, because now the door's not shut and locked. So I'm like, fuck. So I pull. You have to like give it a good pull for it to close. I'm like, and then when you want to open it, you got to shove it. I'm like, I'm fucking tired of this. And it goes, what the fuck is going on out here? And I was like, I didn't feel like pulling out the saw and doing it the whole proper way. So I lit and got the claw hammer and ripped the part of the door frame out that was blocking the door from shutting all the way. Now we don't got to worry about the door swelling anymore. She was like, but now there's a giant chunk of the door missing. And I was like, I'll fix it another time. Like,
You just made yourself a fucking fall winter project real quick, bro. It was like, well, guess I got to fix that now. It's a
and
little
I told her, I
breezy
was
in
like,
here.
you figure we've been in this house for 17 years now.
Yeah.
We've been in this house. And I said, by ripping out that piece of the brown frame where the screen door is, I realized something. She goes, what's that? And I said, there is white crown molding behind this brown shit that actually looks better than the stuff that's there. I was like, yeah, spring might be time for a new door
I was
channel.
like, you just found a new project within you destroying the fucking.
And I didn't even like go get a chisel or try and do. I just took the claw end of the hammer and just slammed it in there and pulled it out.
You let your Polish anger get to you real quick, bro.
No, by
You
the
really
I'm
did.
gonna get it done. However, we got to get it done. I don't give
At
a
least it
shit.
wasn't. At least it wasn't your German anger. I'd have been like, you just fucking burned down the whole house. You'd be like, here you go, thanks.
Well, sometimes
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't.
it happens, bro.
There's more of the Polish there than there is the German.
I bet. Sam's is just New York. There's no classification for it. It's just like it just goes.
Sam's New York, Irish, Scottish, Polish, and Finnish.
Finnish.
Finish.
What is
hmm
Finnish?
Finland.
Finland, bro.
Finland. I didn't know they were fucking called Finnish. I thought it was
Yeah,
just
dude, they're called
Finlanders
Finnish.
or something. They're
Dude, I was
Findy.
like, it's still the only place I would love to like fucking travel to besides Hawaii. I would love to go to Finland for sure. You
We're
don't
going to
gotta go
Australia.
anywhere, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to Australia.
No, you're
You
not.
Yeah, he has to because he has to go. He has to go fight those the kangaroos. And if he wants a good fight,
I mean,
I'll show you the way to go.
I can't be fighting the kangaroos at the Pittsburgh Zoo. They weak ass motherfuckers.
Well, that's the thing, bro. Is you like work your way like amateur boxing?
No,
you work
we're
your
going
way.
straight in.
You go into the Pittsburgh Zoo. Might as well take a left or a right and go up to the Bronx. Take fucking stab at that. Good luck. And then all of a sudden it's like a video game. You go to the final boss, which is Australia, and I don't think you're making that one, bro.
Oh, I'll make it. I'm telling you, kick them in the nuts. All you gotta do is hook them in the Jimmy.
If you can hook them in the fucking Jimmy, bro.
Either that or I'm
There's
throwing.
a
Listen. It's either that or I'm throwing a fucking M80 in that pouch. One of the two's happening.
Did you ever see that video of the Australian man who beat up a kangaroo who was trying to drown his dog?
Yeah.
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 That guy's my inspiration. He's my inspiration.
It's gonna be my man over there.
I'll fucking fight him. Kangaroo will be trying to drown me. I don't know.
Right? So, with being finished, this is awesome. Like, so, who's finished? Your mom or your dad's side?
So I don't know that. I had taken the DNA test for what was it like Ancestry? Yeah. And that came back as Finnish, Polish, and Irish is both on my mom's side. And Irish and Scots is my dad's side. So I still have yet to figure out where this Finnish comes from.
I was like, yeah, you're going to have to, I mean, it could be off air, on air. I'd love to know where it is. Like, that's cool. I would love to know where you got your little from. I bet you it's Finnish. And I'd be like, them sons of bitches. I'd be like, oh, goddamn Finland.
My kid wants to do that. We're going to do it at some point.
I kind of want to do it too.
Like, especially on that, like that Ancestry, like .com, like company that does it, because then, like, because I know a bunch of my mom's family have done it, like my uncles and some great relatives have done it. So they've already started like the family link, like because like once you do it, it registers your DNA in their like system, and it'll link you to anybody else that matches. So it'll add you to family trees and shit.
That's what I think is pretty cool.
I'm curious to see, like, I mean, again, I know a good bit of the history just because, again, I've had other family that have done it, and but my kid wants to do it, so that'd be curious to find out.
It's pretty fun.
It's nice to find.
Like I knew, yeah, because I knew that I was Irish and Scots and Polish. Like I knew that since growing up, so I was a little nervous and anxious about like actually doing it because I was like, what if I'm not? I'm proud of my ancestors. I'm proud of where I came from.
Right.
And then that came back as like it was European. That's it. You were like 90% European. But then they threw in, with the Finnish. I was like, wow, that's new. But then all part of that, it also connected, like you said, with the family tree. So I was actually able to connect with, through Facebook, I have yet to meet them, but I have actually connected with family from my dad's side who live in Michigan, who I never even knew existed.
See, that's awesome. See, that's full of shit. I mean, just because, you don't know who's actually your family. And then you start realizing like, oh, cool, all right. And then that would be cool if you end up finding some relatives in Finland. I'd be like, when the fuck are we leaving? I'd be like,
I'm waiting for Ireland or Scotland because I know my soulmate's over there. He's going to be a diehard metal fan.
He'll end up being like
one drunk ass motherfucker.
It'll be like we were doing when we did the Christmas episode. It's going to be that Hallmark thing. And then it's gonna be so fucking good, but there's gonna be one thing that's gonna fuck you up. You're just gonna be like, wait, what? He'll be like, oh, I just love Christian music, and Sam's gonna be like, it was going so good.
So good.
Like, oh my god. And then he's gonna be like, do you see me right now? And you like Christian music. Hello? Like, that'll be it. And I'll be like, that's a Hallmark movie I'd watch. Because I'd be like, damn. It'll be just one.
No, there is them sitting at a bar, and they're gonna be sitting there chatting, and she's gonna be like, "This is the love of my life. Everything's good." and then they're gonna stand up to walk away together, and he's gonna turn and be like, "I have a fear of little people. I can't do this."
Right? And then it's just
He
like
didn't see her height
the
from the
end.
bar stool, threw him off, and he's gonna be like, I can't. The short people do it to me, and he runs.
No, but I know Sam and she'll be like, "You don't see my fucking little feet dangling, you dumb son of a bitch."
Look, my feet dangle from everybody's couch, okay? So if you can't see my feet dangling from a bar stool,
You're in a bar, your feet are under the bar top. You can't see your feet dangling. And if you're in a bar, I'm telling you, an Irish bar, this dude's drunk.
Look,
He's drunk.
Eric, at some point, I'm going to have to use the restroom at a bar, okay? If you cannot understand how small I am after I hop off, then there's an issue.
That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna go to the restroom and come back, and it'll be gone.
No, hold on. Because all I think of was the time we went to Chicago. We're just sitting there, and she's like, "I need the bathroom," and she did, and all of a sudden she was like, "Flip." I was like, and I didn't mean it not rude at all, but it was just the way she was like, "Flip." And I was like, if you can't see that, you're a fucking horrible person.
She's gonna come back, and the bartender's gonna be like, "He left a note for you," and it's gonna be on a napkin, and it'll be like, "Can't do it. You're too short."
It'll be if he's in Ireland or Scotland. It'll be so heartwarming, like, "My dearest Samantha, blah 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 blah." It's because you're too tall.
It'll be in that nice Celtic like calligraphy.
Yep. Right. They'll be like, "Sincerely, Gerard." I'll be like, "Damn, Gerard is a dick."
But you gotta remember, in true Hallmark fashion, okay, these women all ignore the red flags. They get upset for maybe a day or two, but always go back.
Always, right? But then all of a sudden it'll be like months later, and Sam will be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go visit my family, ironically for Christmas." And all of a sudden, Gerard tracks her down because he retracts how he feels, and it's a whole moment.
It's gonna have the setting of like fucking Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol with all the the old timey looking buildings in Ireland, and
he's running in the snow. I have to get to Samantha. He never calls her Sam one time. It's just always gonna be Samantha. That's how it's gonna be. It's gonna be like, let's get in a little. You're fucking me up over there too. Maybe this isn't what I wanted. Is that calligraphy? Like.
And then put the modern spin on it. You know perfectly well he'll try to track me down through Facebook, TikTok, Instagram.
He'll be like, "Dear gentleman, I seen her on your podcast. I need to know her whereabouts." I'll be like, "Bro, where are you from?"
he does. If he's from Ireland, he ain't saying gentlemen. He's saying lads. Hey lads.
Lads, what's the crack?
What's the crack?
What's the crack? Hey lads, what's the crack?
You know what that is, Sam?
What's the deal, bro? I don't know.
Do you know what that is? What's the crack? I just learned that. What's the crack in Ireland is like, yeah, like Paul said, it's like, what's the deal? What's the story? Like
what's the situation?
Yeah, and they say, what's the crack? I just learned that over the weekend. That was some shit, because now it's embedded in my brain, and I want to say it all the time.
So if
I can get down with that.
If he asks you after track,
your people
like,
say
what's the crack? You'll be like, I don't get down like that, dude.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like rocks? No rocks. You're good.
Crystals.
Oh my god. All I keep thinking about was fucking Condado that day.
I still remember we made a joke about that. Remember how you ordered the spicy tacos and no more than like right after the waitress came and put your food down, the alarm went off?
Yeah, the alarm went off.
Paul said that.
Was that? And then there was the one in Lawrenceville. All of a sudden, firemen showed up. I was like,
and let's point out they were not sexy at all. Okay, no, I was waiting for calendar firemen, and none of them were calendar ready.
I'm sorry they ordered the firemen off of Temu.
Right?
You got some Temu firemen, little weird.
I thought he was getting that Chicago Fire on NBC. Like, nope.
No, not even close, bro. Not even. No Chicago Fire. No Rescue Me. No fucking other none.
911.
Because she looked and was like, "You kidding me?" And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, duh, I got it." But I was like, "Sorry." Like I know what to say. I was just like, "Sorry, that's not what you wanted," you know. But yeah, like Oh my god! But I was like, I really want to. I want to try that, like the Ancestry.com or that 23 Me or whatever. But that's cool, Sam. That you, I didn't know you were finished. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Finish the story.
No,
Finish,
no, finish
finish
the
the crack.
crack. Yeah, right. But like, I was like, they have a there's like I forget what the name of the radio like the app is, but they'll you can get listen to like whatever kind of genre, like all over the world. And the
Mhm.
one time the buddy I used to work with, he was playing me like rock music from over in Finland, and I was in love with it.
Mhm.
I was like, this is like, I mean, I'm not the biggest metalhead, but I was like, this shit slaps. I was like, because I was like, I don't know what the fuck they're saying, but the riffs were dope. So I was like, it's fine by me. And if it got a nice riff, I'm in. But I'll still take that flight if you ever go there instead of hunting down Gerard. Whatever. Don't they have like I think it was like I forget there was a show I think on like Discovery Channel where they would like be hunting the whales or whatever. Not like Deadliest Catch or anything like that, but they were like stop people from killing whales or shit like that or for meat. But I think it had something to do with like Finland, and I think there's like a lot of whales that come up on shore or like the sea life they come up there and like sometimes they're like beaches are like bloody from all the
Mhm.
yeah. That's what I thought was Finland. Yeah, maybe I don't want to go. But
Don't
You
like
don't
sound
have to
like
go to
that
that
shit right there.
part.
don't sound like
But
no fun to me.
but then out of all that, out of the blood and whatnot, this amazing handsome fisherman comes out, John Luke, and I'll be like, "Hey Sam, there he is. That's the fucking guy right there."
I ain't fucking Aquaman coming up out of the water.
Yeah, he's just Aquaman. He got a trident.
Fucking Momoa.
I'll be like, you know what? This is way better than Gerard over, and I'm glad you went over there. This is the promised land. Like, yeah. Oh my god. Oh man. But it said you're 90% like European.
Mhm.
So when
Yeah.
it took from there and did it break that down or it just said 90%
Yeah.
European?
Well, it said like European, but it broke it down like Eastern European, Central European,
Yeah.
Western, and then that's where they would break down what parts of each
Yeah,
were.
even more.
So,
Yeah. That's
mhm.
cool, man. Is it expensive?
I got it during Christmas when they had their sale, so it wasn't too bad. I think I paid like $50 or $60 for it.
Oh, that's not bad at all. Plus you like can go
Mm-mm.
into it whenever and
Mhm.
see then I'd imagine you can see who's linked to the tree or whatever, the family tree. Yeah, that's
Yep.
really cool. Like, yeah. See, this is the
What?
part where we should be sponsored by people where it's like, yo, use the promo code, blah, blah, blah. We'll get there one day.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
Oh no, you don't.
I may not.
Probably the last time the three of us talked on this thing. What? How fucked up would it be? And
There it goes.
I'm assuming this has happened. Like I'm like this this is gonna be fucked up. But I'm assuming that there are gonna be some people that are like, oh yeah, that could. What
This is
if
going to be the last show for sure.
you're talking European over there? So it made me think. Made me think. What if you are Jewish, but then find out you got like fucking German like
Like, go on,
I mean,
finish the
honestly,
story.
that's where I was afraid because I was like, growing up, that's all I knew. That's all I knew. My ancestors came from Ireland and Scotland, and that's all. And Poland. Like that's
Yeah.
all I knew. So I was like, what if there is more to the story? What if I'm something that like I'm not familiar with? How am I going to handle that? How am I going to feel? Because I am proud of my heritage. I am proud of where I came
I mean,
from.
like I don't think
So.
like it's not like so. All right, I'll just use me for example. Let's just say I'm Jewish. I'm
Oh,
not,
let's
but let's just
fucking
say
go.
I am. Let's just say I'm Jewish, and then I find out that like I have ancestry that you know we're killing Jews. Like what? Like how does that work?
Can you imagine how
I
somebody
guess
would
like
feel?
I mean, I know everybody's gonna feel different. Everybody yeah, of course that's traumatizing. That's
That's
traumatizing
what
to
I'm saying.
realize like,
Like
oh
you
my
said, like
God.
that'd be like a weird thing to find out. Or
Mm-hmm.
vice versa. Like, what if you're like you're the opposite, and then you find out that like, you know, you grew up knowing that your family, you know, were part of concentration
So
camps, and then you find out that
part
you have like Jewish heritage somehow in your system.
So that leads into like, so my best friend and I both did the DNA because she was trying to figure out her
Oh,
past out. And
did you
so,
find out you're related?
no, we are not related.
Oh, I thought that's what you were saying.
No, we are sisters, but not by blood. So she started looking because she's biracial, so she knows a lot about her mother's side of the family, but she doesn't know much about her dad's side. And that's where, doing all this, she had discovered that her ancestors used to be slaves. And that's where, for her, it was like a big shocker because she had realized that on her mother's side, one of those ancestors was a slave owner. So how does that, like, that's got to be, very difficult for her to be like, my mother, who is white, her ancestors used to own slavery, who, may or may not have been one of my ancestors.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, and that's, I mean, I don't know this for sure. It's only what I
That's
see.
quite a mind fuck right there in itself.
That's what I'm saying. Like I wasn't trying to be rude about the Jewish thing, but like I mean, I
You're
knew like.
asking questions. We're not getting canceled. You're asking questions.
No, I have another question.
Oh,
You want
God.
this one?
Now we are going to get fucking canceled because I said it.
This one's a stumper. How? Okay, I'm trying to be serious here.
Okay.
If you buy a package of hot dog buns,
Okay. You went
they
way off
they
topic.
how are they all baked and stuck together but sliced open?
Machines.
It has
But
to be.
how? How is the one in the
I mean,
middle?
I can imagine that if they're all made and then a machine just comes and goes, you got them all sliced, but all still stuck together.
Because if you think about it, yeah, there are some where like you're still stuck.
That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, so you get a hot dog. There's always four in a row. How do those two that are in the middle, sandwiched between the two end buns, how do they get sliced open? Because and hot dog buns are not they're the opposite. A hamburger
You know
bun, yeah.
what?
A hamburger bun is open all the way. A hot dog bun is only cut through halfway.
I'm going to Google this for you.
I'm trying to
I'm telling
pinpoint.
you.
I mean, great question. But I'm over here going, how the fuck did we get here from there?
DNA stuck together, buddy. That's how we all got there from there.
Yeah, I was
Look,
like,
it's on Reddit, Eric. It's the same exact question on Reddit. How is the middle hot dog bun sliced in the bag if they're all stuck together?
What? I don't want written explanation. I want video proof.
There is a video.
Yeah.
On YouTube, hot dog bun and hamburger line, and it shows you.
All right.
see,
I'm gonna
that
watch
could have
it.
been your video for this week. Like you could explain it.
Oh, we'll have it for next week. We'll have it next week. We're gonna continue that discussion.
Oh my God.
I'm curious. These are the things that happens to my brain while I sit at home not doing shit because they won't let me work.
I'm still over here. Like we went from Ancestry.com. This
I'm
is
just
why I
saying.
love this fucking show. I
Saying.
I'm telling you. Oh
And
my
now the
God.
wife and kid are out of the house all day, and they leave me home alone. It's bad enough that I at least had one person in the house to keep me somewhat normal. Now there's no one.
I know. Well, apparently now we have to hire Sam as a fucking research assistant.
I might.
So all I gotta do as a therapist, I gotta do my research.
She'll be tomorrow. She'll be like, I got them answers. Here's a spreadsheet. Like,
There's a TikTok video. I found one for you. It's a TikTok video.
I don't do the talkers.
No, but I mean, like, you found it.
Yeah. Normally, I even asked what happened to him.
I'll be back.
Okay.
I didn't leave.
Yeah, I bet you did.
I didn't. My phone was slowly dying, and I had a whole bunch of other apps open, so I was just double checking.
I even asked my little Amazon thingy because I can't say it because then she'll start talking to me. You know what I mean? The A thing.
Alexa?
Alexa. I asked her and she said, I don't know. Stumped her.
You stumped Alexa.
Yeah. Oh, and now, if you guys have one, do either of you have one?
Alexa, no.
Oh. If you say Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, it talks to you.
Like
Mike,
in
Michael
Michael
Keaton gets
Keaton's
up.
voice.
Michael Keaton gets up on there, and now Beetlejuice tells me the weather and the time.
I was like, be ready because I'm gonna try to be going to see that as soon as it comes out.
It comes
That's
out
what my
the.
sister's doing for her bachelorette party. We're going to go see Beetlejuice.
Wait,
comes
Dead
out
time
the
ass.
out,
week.
bring it back, time out. Wait, for a bachelorette party, you're gonna go see a movie. What have we
Yep.
become? What have we become?
Well, Joe, you know what
We're going to go see Beetlejuice and then go to a haunted house.
the
That's our
movie
bachelorette party.
they serve alcohol. They serve alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, but damn, bro. Like I sit there and go, what happened to all of us? We used to be in like, we used to go out, bachelor parties, bachelorette parties. I mean, I'm still cool with a haunted house. I'm taking Xander to his first one this year, so that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be recording that shit the entire time. You don't do nothing.
I hate haunted houses. They're so
You're the
boring.
most anti co-host ever.
Hey, the last haunted house I went to up in New York, okay, I got a guy's number. One of the actors gave me his number. So,
He's from Finland.
That's the fall Hallmark movie, not the Christmas Hallmark movie.
He's from Finland. He's like, I have to stop the whales from being killed, but this is my side gig.
And then the plot twist is he's the one killing the whales with his chainsaw, like fucking.
And he talks in a Finnish fucking New York style accent. It's fucking
that would be it. I would be the one proposing. I'd be like, dude, let's go with some rap.
be like, wow. Like this is a fucking rarity. Oh my god.
You
That's
fucking.
I love a fucking haunted house, bro. That's my shit. I love it. It's like the
Yeah,
clown.
we're gonna go to the Sleepy Hollow haunted house.
That sounds cool.
The
Is
Headless
there
Horseman.
is there a headless? Is there a real fucking headless horseman? I don't want no CGI, some fucking dumbass thing on a robot. I want a real headless dude.
No, it's an actor, and I don't know how they do it, but he comes running. He literally is on the horse and he chases the haunted hayride that goes to the.
I want a dead body on. I want a real headless fucking horseman. Like if you're trying to persuade me, what the fuck, pirates? Jesus Christ!
You are
Sorry.
way too demanding.
You might be able to find that in the cemetery that's across the street from the haunted house.
Yeah, I mean that's possible.
If you're trying to be authentic, I want some authentic shit. Like I don't want This is why I can't do haunted houses. Like I can't get serious. Like I can't. Like I don't walk through there like.
Yeah.
I could do a haunted house with the exception of clowns. I cannot do clowns. You cannot.
Fucking people and clowns. But I mean, I get it.
Joe Sam can never come to our house. My house.
No, Samantha, that can never happen. No, that's when I'll call her Samantha because do not go there.
I'm staring at a statue of a clown right now across the room from me.
Be like, yeah,
Like,
sorry.
clown collector.
Yeah, Donna's a clown collector.
There's this oil painting, like an actual, like a hand done oil painting of this clown that looked like it that hangs above our bed.
I remember
Nope.
the first time I saw it, and like clowns don't freak me out. But I looked at that thing and I was like, no. Like, what the fuck is this?
No.
Clowns don't bother me. I mean, it was a little weird. I'm so used to it now. Like, it is what it is. But like, yeah, she's got like the porcelain ones that sit in most of them are in our bedroom. Like, I think for the most part, like 90% of them are in our bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
So that's even more creepy. It's
Well,
like, hey, you want to do a little Barnum and Bailey? No. No, not in the mood. You go in there, it's like, it's like
Nope. See, years ago, I was dating a guy, and this is when I was living in Philly. And we went to this haunted, I think it was at Lake Compounds. And it was that or Six Flags. And I remember they had a haunted thing going. And he knew one of the actors who was a clown. And I remember I saw him walk down. And I followed, and he's like, I'll be right back. I was like, all right, cool. So I'm waiting in line to get into the house. And I'm still not seeing him, and all of a sudden he comes next to me, right? And I was like, "Everything okay?" He goes, "Yeah, yeah, I just had to use the restroom." And all of a sudden, I just see like down further, there's this clown, and he starts coming, and then all of a sudden he stops and he makes direct eye contact with me, and I was
Oh,
like, "Yo, what the fuck? Why is this clown looking at me? Like, what's going on?" I
he was
didn't
like, "Hey,
know that this
lady."
was. Yeah, he was friends with my boyfriend at the time, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Right? So next thing you know, he makes the beeline. He's coming right at me, and I'm just like, "What the?" And then he just stops and stares at me, like in my face, and I'm like, "Can you
Oh,
back up?" And he's like, "Nope." And he just like the next thing you know, he's ripping out a fucking like knife out from. I took off like a bat out of hell. I don't think I've ever ran so fast in my life.
oh, I thought it was the cartoon. I'm. There was, I forget which. I went to one. Um, I forget where it was, but there's like a haunted hayride around here somewhere. I think it was in Cranberry, and like you get on the hayride, and then this dude jumps on, and he has like the chainsaw, of course, no blade, but like he's hitting it off the fucking rail, and it's creating sparks. And I remember the one time, of course, my friend Jamie, she was like, "You need to knock that shit the fuck off." Like instantly. And dude just stopped. It was like, it just, he cut it. She was like, "No, we're good.
Mm-mm.
Don't do that." Eric, why'd you leave? You don't want to be here? Eric, you just left us. You don't even care. It's fine.
No, I'm having technical difficulties.
That's okay.
Like
Yeah.
I'm here. Obviously, you guys can see me and hear me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's on my end. I don't know what's going on.
You know what it is? It's the creepy clowns in your
It's the
house.
crack.
That's the plan in a
Yeah,
situation.
the scariest thing I've ever done was I was the same guy who did the clown shit. We were dating, and up where my parents live, there used to be. It was called the Harlem Valley Psychiatric Hospital, and it was this whole like acres of what used to be a psychiatric unit. Okay,
That
and
sounds
people from
fun.
World War II were there. I think like people from World War I. It actually opened around World War I, and people died in there. They like, and then like throughout the years, up until 1992, before it closed, they would use it for the mentally ill.
Okay.
And so it was abandoned. And it was me, Dave, my friend Austin, and my friend Dan, and we were like, let's go in. Let's trespass. Let's go in. Let's go explore this place, right? So Dave and Austin went one way, and I went into this building, and next thing you know, Dave and Austin met up with me. And they were like, okay. So we, of course, took our time because, like, the last thing you want to do is fall through a fucking, like,
Yeah.
floor panel or whatever. So I made it to this one room, and Austin was above me. And I made it to this one room, and next thing you know, I'm looking around, and you could definitely tell it was for, like, a kid unit. And I heard a little kid laughing. And I was like, okay, it's just fine, whatever. And I thought it was from outside because, like, there are people who live, like, down, right?
Yeah.
So I look outside and I'm like, okay, no kids, whatever, but I can see. So next thing I know, the whole place got really cold. And then all of a sudden, I felt someone come and push me. Like it was like a little kid who pushed in the back. You know how they come up and they want to
Yeah.
play? They like push you.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the? And I'm looking around, and all of a sudden, like, it literally was like a kid next to me laughing. And I remember like looking out the window, and I was like, Dave, I was like, where are you? And he's like, I'm down here. And I was like, get the fuck out!
It's like Cole. Just, hey, Dave, you good? Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. See, that almost makes me think of like a great horror movie where it's like, because I've watched so many that I'll go like, here we go. Like, I know this is happening or this is happening. But that would be a great spin. Like, hey, Paul, you all right? Yeah, I'm good. I think I'm just right down here. Get the fuck out of here. And everybody just takes the fuck off. Like, oh my God, that was great. I'd be like, man, I did not see that shit coming. Like, I like Brandy gets freaked out because well, at first she got freaked out. I would fall asleep to Ghost Adventures.
Mhm.
And she'd be like, "Oh, I'll try to fall asleep, and all I keep hearing is, whoa, what was that?" Or, "Oh my God, something just touched me." And I'm just like, I don't know. It's just, I think it's that quiet, like, ambiance will get me to go to sleep or something. And then one time she just looked at me like if I was fucked up, because that's what I watch before I go to bed. And I'm like, well, this is just Ghost Adventures, but I watch a lot of fucking horror movies in my spare time. Like, we sat here a couple weeks ago and we watched, it was like Tarot on
Mhm.
Netflix because I was interested in it because the previews looked good. So I was like, oh, cool, like an evil tarot card reading. And it's like, it's based off like an ancient tarot deck. And like, I don't know, Sam, if you know, but I think you do. Like, the rules are you don't use somebody else's deck because it's like
Mhm.
it's bad luck. Well, yeah, that comes into fruition, and then they all start getting murdered the way like their final card was. And I was like, this movie's fucking sick. Like, this movie's dope. And she was like, you know what? This movie really wasn't bad. I was like, yeah, I'm getting you. You're coming along. That's it. You're getting
Mhm.
it. That's me. Like, that's my shit. So especially going back to yours, as soon as you said you felt the cold, that's the first thing. And
Mhm.
then the push is definitely another, that something's there. And if I'd have looked down and there would have been a fucking person, like a little kid, I'd be like, that's it. We're out of here. Like, and that's what it was. It was like, pack the shit up. We're out of here. But that's, to me, is different than like haunted houses. Like, those kind of experiences, I want. Like, I love that shit. Where it's like, hey, let's
Mm-mm.
go check out this place. Yep, I'm in. Like a penitentiary or an old hospital or
Oh,
some shit.
I've gone to penitentiaries. Those are fun. What's the one in Philly I went to? The one in West
Boring.
Virginia I went to.
The one in West Virginia is cool.
Hmm.
It's an
West Virginia.
experience.
Bunch of hillbillies.
You just
Did
never want
I
to be in that.
know? I know I told you this, Paul, but I don't think Eric knew that my dad was the funeral director.
Yeah, I knew that.
Okay. So growing up, at one point, I was about 10 years old at this time. I to this day still believe that some of my dad's clients followed him home. Dead ass.
They
Like,
possibly could have like for like attached themselves to me.
yes, and that's what I seriously think happened because there will been times where I've seen shadows walk past me. I've heard conversations. I've like this one time it was Christmas Eve and my mom had told me, of course, like she told me all about Santa Claus. She was like,
Yeah,
so now
yeah.
you're gonna have to help me. And my two sisters were in the bedroom sleeping, and it was probably around 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And my mom was like, I'm gonna go downstairs, I gotta do some laundry. Can you finish wrapping? I'm like, yeah, that's fine. So she like when she was gone, I heard a kid crying and I thought it was my baby sister. So I got up and I walked in down the hallway, went into her room, and I just kind of sat there and I lingered for a bit and I didn't hear anything. So I was like, oh, maybe she's just crying in her sleep. That's fine. So I walk back. About 5 minutes later, I'm still wrapping presents and I hear it again. And I'm like, what the fuck? Is she crying in her sleep?
Yeah.
So I go down the hallway, right? And it's still happening. She's still crying. I still hear somebody crying as I'm walking down the hallway. As soon as I open her bedroom door, it stops. And I turn on the light and I was like, hey, Jess, you okay? Like, are you crying? She's like, I'm fine. I don't know. I'm good. I was like, were you dreaming at all? She's like, no, no, no. So I was like, all right, never mind. And so at that time, my mom's coming up the basement steps, right? She comes and she joins me in the hallway. I close the door.
Yeah.
As we're walking down to head back into the living room, the bathroom door flung open, and the angel that my mom, it was a little porcelain angel that my mom used to have sitting on the back of the toilet, flung out into the hallway and broke into little pieces. And then the bathroom door slammed shut, and you heard like this evil growl. And I just turned to my mother. She looked at me. She's like, "Well, Merry Christmas, honey."
Oh, okay, Santa. Fuck out of
Right?
here. I'd be like, Mom, what the fuck you mean Merry Christmas?
Like, did you
Like,
not just see what happened?
that'd be me. But like, did you not just see what the fuck just happened? But you're probably gonna yell at me to finish rapping, right? Okay.
Right?
Your angel just smashed into little fucking pieces. But come on, Sam, you
But
gotta keep rapping.
and that was the thing, like throughout my childhood, I saw black shadows walk in front of me, conversations. I remember at one point I freaked out because I was folding laundry and my mom's was like, my parents, I grew up in like a house that was like pretty high up. It had like two floors, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I was up in my mom's bedroom folding laundry, watching TV, and I heard a knock on the window.
Yeah.
And when I turned around, there was a figure in the window. Like literally, it was a man's face. And I was like, "There's no way in hell a man is up here, because you
Yeah.
would have to get like a really big ass ladder." And I remember screaming, and my dog knew someone was up because they kept barking. She kept barking. She wanted to go outside. And when my mom looked outside, it was a ghost figure, like a silhouette figure, just like literally just floating right there watching. And I was like, "I'm telling you right now, these motherfuckers are following him home."
Yeah, right. Look, I don't know if anybody needs to hear this, but I told y'all I was right. Right?
Right?
Anybody else feel me on this? Because I fucking told you. Somebody better talk to Dad, because
Like,
I
stop
don't want
bringing
this
work
going
home
on.
with you.
Yeah, you. Well, I mean, this is bringing your work home with you all to a whole nother level.
Right?
Like, I don't give a fuck if fucking Arthur died the way he did. Just tell him get out my fucking window. Like,
And
fuck
it didn't
that.
like, that was the worst part. It did not matter that we told my dad all this, because he was just like, "Well, the dead can't hurt you." He's like, "It's the living that you should be worried about." And I'm like, "I don't give a rat's ass. Like, you're
I was like, well,
like,"
no offense, your dad is tripping. Like, what do you mean
right?
they can't hurt you? What movies are you watching, Dad? Like, no,
Like,
this isn't touched by an angel over here. Like, these motherfuckers are in the window, they're throwing mom shit, but they can't hurt you.
right?
No. Yeah.
And like, the worst part about it is, like, I knew someone died in that house, because when my dad bought the house that we were living in, they had told him when they bought, like, the real estate agent, she was like, "Oh, just wanted to let you know that someone was buried in your basement." And we were like, "What?" And they were like, "The part of the New York gangster or the mob used to own this house, and they used to stash their guns, and they used to have like all these like things happen in the house. They guns were stashed here, money was stashed here." Like,
I can
when
only
we bought
imagine
the
how many
house,
bodies were in there.
they said they were like bullet holes in the side of the house when we purchased it. And my dad was like, "It's a good deal. It's all right. We got nothing to worry about." Like,
It's got bullet holes in the side. I mean, the accent just looks great, don't you think? I mean, just sets the tone, you know? We could just, that's that Colgate, Eric, and my dad. Just put some fucking toothpaste in her, make that right up. It's fine.
yeah. And it
Yeah.
was like the basement was furnished with the exception of the back. So like they
Oh,
had
that's
like a
where they
furnished
went.
basement.
That's
And
where
then
they
there was
went.
like a small little room in the back, and that's where like the laundry was. That's where like the oil was, like where, and there were tree stumps. I'm dead ass, okay, when I tell you this. Tree stumps were holding this up.
No, that's
Okay,
fucking awesome.
and there was like dirt, nothing but dirt. And that's where we were like, "I guarantee this is where they buried them. Guarantee you it."
Oh, 110%. For sure. Especially the mob in New York. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like, I they don't, I was like, they don't still have that place, right? Because I'll go there.
No, they sold it a couple of years ago.
Damn, I'd have been like, we're going. But that's the type of shit I like. It's just that shit there, where it's just like, yo, did you see that? And you know your eyes aren't playing tricks on you. You know what I
No,
mean? Like, you
like
know you
the
physically saw something.
or when you hear them, clear as fucking day. They were gangsters. They were moms. They were talking in my fucking hallway at 2 o'clock in the goddamn morning, talking about money.
Because I'm telling you, you got to watch out. You know, Sleepy Sal's over here. He runs his mouth, and then, but this hallway, Lenny, come here. Let me tell you. Let me about this right here. And all of a sudden, you're like, no, nobody has any gabagool. What the fuck are you talking?
Right?
Like, what just happened? I just want to take a piss. Like, I, and like then later it's like it's Christmas time for fuck's sakes. Like, ain't no holly, ain't no jolly in this bitch right now.
I remember waking up because it was like right in front of my bedroom, and I remember waking up being like, "Is Dad up? Is he watching TV? Like, what's all this noise?" And I just remember like I didn't want to open the door because my door creaked, and I thought that if my dad was up and and he heard my door, he'd be like, "What are you doing up?"
Yeah,
You
what are you
know.
doing? Yeah, my dad would do that
So
shit too.
like I listened very quietly, and I could hear two men having this conversation in front of my door. I was like, "That's not Dad's voice. That ain't Dad." I was like, "Is that the TV?" So I like listened, and this conversation went, and then all of a sudden my dad came from his bedroom, and the voices just stopped.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, it's like you either open the door or something caused the conversation to just die. That's
It was my dad getting up to take a piss at 2 in the morning. That stopped that conversation.
that's because they were trying to have this fucking quiet conversation about this fucking money that apparently they can't have. They can't
Right?
touch it. But here comes Sam's dad. Shut up, shut up. We ain't gonna tell
But
where the
that,
money's at.
see, but
I,
like my bedroom was where they stashed the money.
oh yeah. So yeah, so they're probably that's like of course like that's kind of how the dead are. It's like that last like it could be like some monumental thing that sticks with them, and it's like go in there and get the money, or it could have been the bullet holes or something. It could have been a raid or something. Like get the money. Like it's a traumatizing
Mm-hmm.
experience. That's fucking really wicked. That's pretty cool. But it's probably
Oh, I'm
scarred
glad
you.
you think so, because
I like that. I just like that shit. Where I'm just like, I'd be out there like, so where is it? Where's the money? Trying to convince the fucking ghost. Where's the money?
I come in peace. I don't know
Right?
where
I
the
come
money
in
is, but it
peace.
used to be in this room.
Right? I come in peace. If I take a sledgehammer to the east wall, how far do I gotta go? Why not? Fuck it, right? Shit. So Eric, you don't do none of that? You don't do nothing.
Yeah.
What do
No.
you do?
Yeah. Bitch, moan, complain, and talk about life on a podcast with his best friend.
Want to know why my hot dogs are split weird? No, like stuff like that. Like the whole like spiritual thing and like it just I don't know. It just you got a better chance of asking me to go out in the woods and fucking hunt Bigfoot than you do to go into a jail and hunt a ghost.
I
Good, let's
mean,
go. We'll go to Oregon. We can hunt down Bigfoot.
I mean, at least if I die in those woods, I know why. I chased a fucking Bigfoot. Not because Paul dragged me to the fucking woods for no apparent reason to have a picnic.
I did drag you to the woods, the middle of nowhere, to have a picnic.
But what I love is I guarantee he'd probably be bitching and moaning the entire time you're dragging him there, and then he'll get there and be like, "Where's
110% he
Bigfoot?"
did. 110% he would. They'd be like, there ain't no goddamn Bigfoot on this motherfucker. How the fuck did he come out here in the first place? Why didn't anybody check to make sure Bigfoot was going to be out here before I showed up in this bitch? I don't have time for this bullshit. Somebody better tell Bigfoot he got to
And then
get here.
Bigfoot shows up.
You better set the bait before I get there.
Then all of a sudden Bigfoot shows up and like, oh, you finally made it, motherfucker. You about a good 3 hours late. I was about to go back in.
Hey, and listen, I'm gonna high five that Bigfoot, and we're gonna go fucking Australia and fight the kangaroos.
But you're gonna be
Secret
pissed
weapon.
off at him because you ate all your Cheez-Its and you're like, I was gonna give you some Cheez-Its, but now I ain't got no.
I don't share my Cheez-Its very well.
I don't share my food at all. Brandy just got mad at me because like her mom would ask me, she was like, "You don't share your food?" I was like, "No, I just don't share my food." She was like, "So you never been on a date and share your food?" And I was like, "No, I just don't. I don't know." Like to me, I believe it like, okay, little things like fries or something like that, sure. Okay. It depends on how I'm feeling, to be quite honest. But if I ordered this, I ordered this. I don't want none of yours. You don't need none of mine. But then as soon as I get something, you want to come pick at it because it looked good. You should have ordered it. Like plain and simple. Now, if it's something like, okay, like if you order, okay, I'll throw Condado out there. Perfect example. Is if you order 3 of the same taco
Mhm.
and you got 3 of the same tacos, Sam. Like, do you want one of these in place of one of those?
Mhm.
Sure. But if I'm sitting there and I'm eating my pickle pizza like I was in Splash Lagoon and everybody's looking at me, I'm not sharing. Like, stop staring at me and you're trying, and then don't make me feel bad where it's like, oh, well, you're going to have to get used to it and you're eventually, no, I'm not. No, no.
That's
Again,
just rude.
I don't share. I don't.
I'm gonna kick
Now,
you in the nuts.
Now, if I have like snacks on the way somewhere or something, that's different. But mm-mm.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when we went out with tacos, that's about the only time I think I've ever seen him share was because he let me try one of his spicy, and then I let him try the ranch. But that was
Yep.
it.
See,
I was even nice and I fucking shared my funnel cake fries.
I was like, I couldn't really eat them, but thank you. But
I was nice. I mean, I didn't really want yins to have them, but I at least offered.
you for sure, alive on this fucking podcast, you sure as hell did not want your wife touching your funnel cake fries.
That's just like my mozzarella sticks at Eaton Park. Don't fucking ask.
Bro, you was about to like chew that woman's whole arm off because she was going to get that funnel cake fry.
But other shit like that, I mean, I don't know. I'm not like that. Like, I don't care. Food's food. At the way I'm at right now, I don't fucking eat. So somebody eat it because I'm not.
No, well, that's how it was for me. Like, especially like my thing is because the way I eat and how I eat. If I want to indulge in something that I want now, I'm gonna eat it because like I don't really get a chance to eat this or this. So when I want it, I want it. Like I want it.
My only thing is like, and Paul knows that. Paul's girlfriend hates me for this. Sorry, Brandy.
Should be okay.
I am considered a very picky eater. Some may say.
Huge.
So when I order things a certain way because that's how I will eat it. So my thing with sharing is it's like, don't ask me for mine because you know and damn I can't ask you for yours because you know I'm not going to eat all that fucking shit. Like let's just say a burger, for instance. Paul, how do I eat my burger?
It's cheese only. Well done.
That's it.
That's it. That's
So
it.
like if we go to McDonald's and me and Donna order Big Macs, I will order a fucking Big Mac with cheese only.
Savagery.
She will order it with everything. Now you know there's no way we're fucking sharing burgers there because I am not even gonna look at yours because all that shit on there is gross.
But it's
So I just feel like don't ask me for mine because you know and damn well I'm not gonna ask for yours. Like that's the only thing I like. And Donna, they know. Like Donna and Jane, they're like, "Yep, that's Dad's. He's on his own."
right. I mean,
And then McDonald's with this fucking, we're putting onions on everything we fucking own now. What is this shit?
you're so anti-vegetable. It's unreal.
This fucking smash burger fucking era that we're in. I want to
Well,
smack
smash
every
burger.
burger place.
Most smash burgers have onions in them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody does it now, except for Wendy's. Shout out Wendy's for keeping it original.
And then once they don't use that meat, put it in the chili. Shout out Wendy's. You're a real one.
I don't care. But yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not stingy with my food though. This guy, I mean, I know he is.
I am. Don't touch my shit. That's it. That's all I ask.
I mean, I get it. I'm stingy with my food. If
Right?
I'm like down to literally. I know it's like, I don't know. I'm a very picky eater throughout the day. I'm literally very small meals. So if I get something that I really want that I haven't gotten in a while, back the fuck off my food. I will fight you.
Right. Like I've tried telling Brandy, I was like, it's like friends. Joey don't share food.
Mm-hmm.
Ollie don't share food. That's it, plain and simple. And then that's how I feel. If I haven't ate it in a while or something like that, or if I'm in the mood for that, that's what I want. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't mean to be selfish, but I want every bite of that goddamn meal for myself.
See,
Yeah.
I'm also in my mind, I'm thinking I can't be that way because there is an off chance that you're gonna have something. I'm gonna be like, oh, can I have a bite of that? And then I don't want that person to get mad at me whenever they say, "Can I have a bite of whatever you got?" And I say, "Fuck no," and they're like, "What I shared," and I'm like, "Oh, now we're in a whole thing."
Yeah,
Like,
now you're in
just
a whole scenario.
I
And you're
just
just
play
like,
fair.
So that's where you play. That's where you set your limits ahead of time. Just be like, hey, listen, just want to let you know this is how I am when I go out to eat. I do not share. I will not share with you. I do not want you to share with me.
I will not in a tree. I will not in a boat. I will not even eat this in clothes. Like, I will not share it. It's not
Look,
happening.
when you're in 14 years of marriage, there is no fucking planning or expectations whatsoever. We're lucky if we can get the meal right to be made in general.
Yeah.
See, like off topic, I saw your Instagram with Jane today, and I don't know. It's like the same thing with Xander. It's hard for me to picture them being like teenagers and almost to college. And I just kept picturing her as this cute little girl. And I was like, see, that's Jane. That's the Jane I remember. And then like Xander, and I'm like, Jesus, why? Like he was 2 when I met it.
He's
Yeah.
and he's 2 in that photo I put on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his mom lost a whole bunch of stuff from her cloud, and she was like, "Any, do me a favor, if you can just." She was looking for this one video of him on a Ferris wheel, and she was like, "I know you have it because we shared it on our Facebooks." And she's like, Unfortunately, I don't have my Facebook no more." And I was like, "If I find it, I had to go," and I was like, "It's in my Facebook now." I was like, "It wouldn't be in my other one," so I'm doing like scrolling, and then I'm actually at the same time. I was like, oh, I can just go to like a memory or a year. And then I found it, but then like right after it, I saw a glimpse of another video and I was like, oh my God, this is Xander in the fucking tub with his clothes on and he's 2 years old. So I saved it and sent her that one. She's like, I forgot all about that video. I was like, so did I. So did I. And then like I watched that video and I'm like crying my fucking eyes out because like I blinked and he's gonna be 17.
Hmm.
And then I was like, if I can get a part of that video where he's smiling and throw it with that smile that he had on his first day, I was like, perfect. And then I got it and I was like, oh my fucking goodness. Like, I was like, I got a fucking whole ass fucking gentleman now. Like, yeah, I was like, oh my God.
I don't know. Like we were talking about this yesterday because Donna already cried. And then we had like a little family video chat. I was talking with my mom and my sister that lives out in Missouri, and that's what she was saying. Like, oh my God, she's senior year, this and that. And I'm like, it's just like I don't want to say it doesn't affect me. Like it's not like I don't care or whatever, but it's just like I don't know. Like it's just like okay, it's I don't know. Like I think it might be different. Like once she goes to like leaves for college, but
Yeah.
it's like but now it's just like I don't know. It's just like it's still school, it's still senior year, it's still the same shit. Like she's playing soccer, she's got all of her little I don't even know what to fucking call it, like her extracurriculars. Like she's got all of her shit going on, and it's like okay, we just went through this. It's just another year. Like and I wonder why they call it a year because you really don't go to school for a whole year.
No, you go for
Like
So it's
9
just another.
months.
It's
maybe
just
like
another.
8. I was
It's
going
a.
to say, Sam, between like 8, maybe 8.5 to 9 months.
It's just another grade level. But no, so yeah, like I don't know, like so her going to school today, like it was just like I don't know. She got mad at me yesterday because Donna snitched on me because again Donna had her little emotional moment and and she was kind of like Jane kind of questioned like looked at me like, well, did you get upset like I'm going to my senior year? And I was like, nah, Dad's already running blueprints through my head. I'm turning your room into a man cave. See you later. Like peace. She's like, where am I going to sleep when I come home from college? And I was like, I'll put a futon in there for you.
Or an air mattress. Just blows up.
We already have one. She has an air mattress in her room for whenever her like friends come and have sleepovers. So that we already got an air mattress too. I was like, either way, there'll be somewhere for you to sleep. I don't know, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, right?
That's what my parents did.
Yeah.
They gave my younger sister my bedroom. And then when I came home, I had to bunk with my middle sister.
I know. I think if anything, we might switch bedrooms because technically Jane has the bigger bedroom in the house because she's got too much shit. So we might flip rooms because again, she's not. What is she gonna need a big room for? Like,
Hmm.
For sure.
so that might happen. But even then, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know. It's just another school year for me. Like again, like my sister out in Missouri was all sad, and I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just. I mean, I did look at that photo today as I was like editing it and posting it, and I was like, damn, she had definitely is a grown up. But just like I don't know. I mean, I picked her up from school. I was like, how was it? She's like, we did this, we did that. I got to flip a few classes around, and she was like, our English teacher said we're gonna start writing our college essays. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like it was even like she could have didn't like she just and we came
Yeah.
home. She did her homework, did whatever she had to do, and I took her to work. She's at work. Like,
Right.
not even
Mhm.
like move on to the next thing.
Well, like kind of Xander's. Like I don't know. Like they always start him in like the end of the week. Like it's always a Thursday. It's so weird, but it's like,
Yeah.
um, I feel like I don't know. Maybe Sam. Like I feel like they gradually put them into it. Not like us when we was like right after Labor Day, you motherfuckers get back in there and have a good year.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Now it's like they coax them into it. It's like, okay, here you go.
Mhm.
Here we're gonna start it. And then like he does his this is his first official full week. And then he's off for Labor Day. And then he
Labor
goes,
Day.
then it's just in the groove. So I myself and Ashley both knew that he was gonna learn nothing, but it's more or less like here's your classes this year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And here's your structure, especially you get it, Sam. Here's your structure of what's gonna
Mhm.
happen. And then today I asked him like, "How was your day?" He was like, "Oh, I went to piano class." I was like, "You went to what class?" And I totally forgot in his first semester he's doing like a piano course.
Mm.
Mhm.
So I was like, "Well, that's new. Let's see how that goes." And he has all the sheet music to like most of his songs in his playlist, so he's gonna learn them. So instead of learning like what they're supposed to have or whatever, he's gonna learn like his own stuff. So I was like, that's cool that they're adapting to that, and it's something new for him. And then he's gonna start learn. He's doing a physical because he's trying to try out for bocce apparently. And I was
Yeah.
like, what's he, an old Italian up in Bloomfield? Like they're just, what are you doing today? We're gonna go throw this around a little bit. But apparently it's good for kids on the spectrum. They do that in the winter.
Yeah, that's a big adaptive sport. Like because Jane goes and takes pictures for they have bocce at her school, and she goes and take pictures of the bocce team when they have matches. I guess they call them. I don't
Yeah.
know. And she was like, "Yeah, like it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a mixture. Like at her school, she said it's almost like a 50-50 mixture, but it was more than she was expecting. But she knows some of the like kids in those classes at her school because our good friend is the teacher in that class. So like so Jane goes and like hangs out and visits her in her classroom and she gets to know like there's this one dude, oh, he was my man. I can't remember his name. He had this thing like so he was on the spectrum and he had this thing where he was obsessed with superheroes. He got voted and he was like beloved in the school. He got voted as prom king last year. It was his senior year. He got voted prom king, and we were at the football game where they were announcing the homecoming court or whatever, and our prom court, and he's in a nice dress, nice little dress shirt, tie, and everything, and he walks out there with the queen, and they announce his name over the loudspeaker, and my man, like Superman, ripped open the fucking dress shirt and had a Superman outfit underneath like
Nice.
tearaway pants and all. He had it all under there. I was like, that is my dude. And Jane said he does that. Like he just walks around the school like that's like his comfort thing is superheroes. So the school allows him to wear almost like a Halloween costume if he wants to, if that gets him through the
Mhm.
day.
For
And
sure.
she goes, nobody picks on him. Like he doesn't get picked on or bullied. She was like, everybody loves him for it. Like
Mhm.
I was like, that's my fucking dude. Like,
Right. If you ask some, like I asked one, I think it was last year for open house, I broke away from Ashley, Sersha, and Xander. And I asked, I seen a bunch of kids and I said, "Hey, how are you?" And they're like, "Hey, sir, how are you?" I was like, "Good." I was like, "Can you tell me who the mayor of Fox Chapel High School is?" They're like, "You don't know Xander Chopek?" I was like, "I do. I'm his dad. Hi, I'm Paul." They're like, "Dude, he's the man." I was like, I don't hear none of this shit. Like, it's just, how's your day? Good. It was all right. Typical teenager shit.
yeah, that's the way Jane is. Like again, like she came home today and I'm like, how was your day? And it's like, and I know in the back of my mind that Jane is a big deal at that school. Like she is very well known. Like we were, so she works at the grocery store, and the school security guards out of uniform, like off day or whatever, come through and they're like, "Oh, that's Jane," da da da. And I'm like, "What the like?" We go to Paul, you were there. Like we go to the football games because she has to do all of our photo work.
Mhm.
They're just like, "Oh, that's Jane." Like they don't even check her credentials. They don't check nothing. oh, let her on the field. She's got permit. Like I'm like, she just runs all over the school, does whatever she wants. I'm like, what the fuck? But then when she comes home, and you're like, how was your day? Oh, it was,
Nothing.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
Now she'll tell Donna a little bit more than she will me, but she uses but mom's the gossip. Like it's not. Oh, well, we did this in history class, or we did this. It's mom. Do you know who's dating so and so?
you ain't
Like,
gonna believe this shit, mom. Let me tell you
yeah,
about this,
that's
mom. You know.
mom will at least get the gossip side. I'm like, well, at least there's some form of the day. Like,
In the words of Riley Cashmere Chopek, there's some tea to be spilled. So she has
yeah,
some tea.
yeah, those two will. And I like again, like yesterday, she came down. She's like, Dad, I need you to sign these papers for me. Like, I get the technical stuff. Donna gets the gossip stuff.
Right.
And I'm
See,
like, all right,
we don't. We haven't had security before, but we were leaving when we went to Laurel Caverns. You think a couple years ago. It was right after. It was right after summer break started. School was over, and we're leaving out of the caverns. And I hear, "Where you going, Xander Chopek?" I was like, "Who the fuck?"
just used.
Middle of fucking Laurel Caverns
Yeah,
knows my kid. And I turned and I was like, and this dude is staring at Xander. And I was really about to dad bear it in and be like, yo, who the fuck are you? And Xander's like, Mr. Bacco. And I was like, he was this close.
yeah,
He was this fucking close. I was like, oh, hey. And I've only heard of him. I never saw him. So I was like, and he was like, apparently you are dad. I was like, I'm so that guy that would be like, no, I'm the kidnapper that was gonna bury him inside Laurel Caverns. Like, but I was like, yeah, it's nice to meet you. And he's like, oh, this is my wife Stacy or whatever. And I was like, okay. I was like, I was a little freaked out because who knows my kid in the middle of
yeah.
Laurel Caverns?
Mhm.
But yeah, I've had it before. Like his old teacher, Mrs. Bennett. We were in Giant Eagle, and I heard Xander Phoenix Chopek. I was like, okay, somebody middle named him. It's a family member. And then I turned around. I was like, damn it, Joe, you scared the shit out of me, man. I was like, don't middle name him. Fucks me all up. Like,
Yeah.
because if anybody does that, it's usually like my mom or Ash's mom, something like that. But I'm like, mm-mm. There's certain times where I'll hear his name. And then, like, if I hear Xander, it's pretty common name now. But if I hear like the whole thing or Xander Chopek, I'm like, okay, who the fuck? Like, who are you? And
Yeah.
it's unless I know the teacher can see them. But if it's somebody random, I'm like, mm-mm, you know. And then I always ask Xander, and I'll go, "You know them?" And one time he said he didn't, and it was a teacher I knew. I was like, "You know
Oh,
that person?" He was like, "No." I was like,
you liar.
"Oh, well, that's Miss So and So." He was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "You just want to get in Five Below." You're like, "Okay, everybody around here, I'm tunnel
See,
vision."
that's the thing. Like, we always tell. So, like, the first parent teacher conference of the year, we obviously go up to school. And I always tell, I meet all the, at this point, we know everybody. It's senior year. We know all the teachers. But if there's a teacher we haven't met yet, we're meeting for the first time, I'm always like, listen, we're those involved parents. We're not the parents that send the kids here and act like it's a daycare. We're involved. Any issues, any problems, you let me know. And they're like, okay. So then Jane, she'll come home and again, I'll ask her, like, how's your day, this and that. And she'll be like, well, nothing much. You got homework? No, not really. I'm like, well, I'm out. Miss So and so texted me and told me that you had homework. She texted you? And I'm like, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
don't play with
right.
that. Like, I
Yeah,
got
that,
I got I got a whole bunch of Mr. and Mrs. in my phone from school. I'm
yeah.
like,
Fox
oh,
Chapel, Dorseyville Middle used to do that a lot of texting, but here at Fox Chapel they do a lot of emails, a lot.
Mhm.
well, see,
And
Pittsburgh Public Schools has an like a portal thing.
yeah,
So
Mhm.
like Donna's on there. Donna can talk to the teachers through the portal thing, but I feel like that takes forever. I'm just phone number. Like, and I don't ask the teachers for the phone number, but when you go meet them, they always have like those sign up sheets, and I always put my info down. I'm like,
yeah,
here's my phone number. You can text me whenever you want. Like, I don't care.
yeah. Like me and
Like,
Ash laid down the law. Like we want to know as much information about the teacher
yeah,
as we want to know about Xander. So we absolutely do. But then something will happen, like they'll email, and Ashley's more at a desk, and I'm on the road. So if there's something, but I haven't responded to, Ashley will text me a screenshot of the email.
yeah,
hey, did you see this? You know, it used to not be like that, but she does it a lot now, where it's like, hey, this came through, this came through. Have you seen this? Have you seen that? And I'm like, all right.
James' math teacher from last year, she would walk into class, and again, like because she just does whatever, he'd always she'd go into I think it was like one of her like first or second period. She had this dude for class. He'd always have Dunkin', coffee, donut holes. Like he was prepped. And Jane would go get a coffee and sit down and have some donuts. He wouldn't say, "Oh, how's your morning? How's your day?" He goes, "What's your dad up to?" She goes, "Dad." The one day she come home and she was like, "Dad, Mr. Wehar asked if you'd watched the Pat McAfee episode from yesterday," and I was like, "Bet I did." And she was like, "I told him you did."
Yeah.
He was like, "He might message you about it." I was like, "My
her,
man!" Like,
her teacher's doing the most to make sure it's cool
yeah,
with the
like
parents.
they were talking about something else. I think it was wrestling. Like he brought up wrestling, like he was using it as an example in the math class or something like that. And he looks at he said, "Dad, he called me out in the middle of him giving his explanation. He goes, Jane, I know your dad be watching. Your dad probably watches wrestling." She was like, "Yes, yes, we do watch wrestling in our house." But
And then at the same time, she's like, this motherfucker for real, bro.
yeah. I mean, he's a cool dude. And the thing is he's one of those guys, like he's a young teacher. So it's like he's younger than us. Like,
Yeah.
and like when I met him during parent teacher conference, like he was wearing he had like a fitted on. He was just rolling with some like joggers. Like he was just chill. And I was like, "Oh, this dude's cool." I was like, "I wish I would have had him as a math teacher." And she was like, "No, Dad, you don't do this kind of math. It's like physics or like one of those super high math classes." And I was like,
Like
"Oh yeah,
calculus.
I would have never made it to his level." Like that's
Yeah.
not.
Nah, man. Nah. I'd
If
be
you
like,
weren't doing 2 + 2, I was out. Like we're good.
yeah, now they are trying to argue that 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4 because it's not equal to 4.
Mhm.
Man,
Dude,
what the
I
fuck?
was
I'm
like,
gonna
I'm
punch somebody.
done. I did. I was like, I'm
Don't
so
get me
done.
started. We will get canceled. I might upset Sam because I don't know what her stance is on situations, and I don't want to get started.
No, I didn't even know that was happening until my best friend was telling me about that. She's like, "Did you know 2 + 2 supposedly doesn't equal 4?" And I was like, "But it does." She's like, "Not according to," and she went into a whole big spiel about it. I was like, "What the fuck are they teaching these kids nowadays? Like, don't,
I'd be like, you know how
go
I can
back
kill
old
this?
school."
I'd be like, you know how I can kill this? Look, here's 2 tallies. And then if I add 2 more, 1, 2,
2,
3, 4,
4.
done.
Like, listen,
Ta-da!
I saw this stand-up comedian online, and he said something that like I was like, yes, like I agree with you fully. And he was making a joke, but he was also explaining like a situation that had happened to him after one of his shows because he does like little meet and greets or whatever. And he said he had this woman come up to him and say that he made an offensive like transgender or LGBT joke on stage, and she didn't like it. And she showed him a photo and said, "Look, this is a he made a comment, a joke about how they say, you know, trans men that transition to women can get pregnant, like that whole
Yeah.
scenario."
Yeah.
So he made a joke about it, and the woman was like, "This this is a transgender man, and look at him." It was like a birth announcement photo, and the wife in the relationship was behind hugging the dad, like with her arms around the pregnant belly. And she was like, "How can you say men don't get pregnant? This is proof right here." And he was like, "Prove to me that that's a man that's pregnant." And the lady was like, "Well, look, he has a lot of hair and it has a very thick beard." And he was like, "Ma'am, I have 3 aunts in Italy that all have thick beards, and they're women." He was like, "Don't try to pull that shit on me." And I was like, "That's what I'm saying." Like, you just don't know nowadays.
You don't, but I mean, like the whole world, especially the U.S., is so misconstrued and so nonsense. It's I don't know. I saw that video of the 2 + 2 thing, and I was like, shut the fuck up anymore, man. Like, please shut up. Just shut the fuck up. And
Do,
it
do
just
either
drives
of you,
me insane.
do either of you guys, what I think Paul, you might watch Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yeah.
I've heard of him.
He's this huge Italian comedian. Like, well, I say huge, like popular. He he has the joke. I think it was him. He has the joke about he took his kid to school and the teacher was telling them, like, it was like again, like little kids, like kindergartners, first grades. She was telling the parents, like, just so you guys aren't alarmed, we have a little boy in here that identifies as a cat, and the
Oh,
little
yeah.
the little kid like literally goes around the class like meowing and wears ears and all this stuff and like and the whole thing. And he said that his daughter told him like it bothers me like that that's what they do, but we're not allowed to say anything. So he was like, honey, daddy's gonna come into class with you tomorrow and I'll talk to the teacher and it'll be all so situated. Don't worry about it. And he said, I go in and I tell the teacher, I would just like to let you know that if my daughter attacks the cat boy, it's because she now identifies as a Rottweiler and those two don't mix.
Yeah,
So the Rottweiler might attack the cat. So if anything happens, you can't yell at her because she identifies as a
that's
Rottweiler. And I
it.
was like, damn, that's smart. Like, I want to use that. Like,
Right?
shit.
But then that's where my therapeutic comes in. My therapeutic brain comes in and says, but in today's society, if a dog attacks somebody, it would be put down in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So how do
Yeah.
we prevent that from happening?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, it's just, there's like a never ending cycle of consequence. Like,
That's why Sam's gonna have her job a long time, bro.
I know. And it's a shame. Like I said, don't get me started.
I was like, that's just the way it is, bro. I mean,
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what the sad part is, and like my mom and sisters know this, and Dawn and Jane, like anybody that knows me knows this, that it has to be a very serious, fucked up situation to upset me
mhm.
because I'm a very accepting person. Like I don't give a shit. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
if you're gay, you're gay. If you want to be trans, be trans. Like I don't care. Your life doesn't affect me, you know, then what the fuck does it matter? But
Mm-hmm.
if you're trying to like when it does start to try to affect the world, I guess in a way, I guess you could say, like that's when I'm like, come the fuck on. Like, can we just move on?
Yeah, I mean, we could spend another 2.5 fucking hours on that nonsense, but it's just the way it is. The world is.
It's society. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
dead soon, so it don't matter.
yeah, for sure. I was
I mean,
like,
I just look at it as, you know, I support it. I'm all for it. If you're gay, you're gay. If you're lesbian, love is love. I'm not going to tell you how to love. I'm not.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not going to tell you how to
exactly.
live your life either. You know, but at the same time, I think if more people were a little bit more open to understand it, if it's not impacting my life, why blow it out of proportion? You know, like I know a lot of gay kids who they struggle because their parents are like, you can't be gay.
yeah,
I'm not raising a gay child. So I think a lot of that community, you know, same in the community of like, you know, African American and blacks, they want to be heard. They just want to be treated of equal value, you know. But then, of course, you do get some people who are so closed minded to it that they're just like, no, I will not accept that. And because I don't believe in it and I don't accept it, it's not happening. You can,
Yeah,
nobody else should be accepting with this. And I think that's where the problem lies. Because like I have one family where the mother will not accept her child being gay. She won't.
yeah. Like we went through that. What has it been? 2 years now, I guess, since Jane told us she was gay, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like I I'm like, cause she was nervous, which I get it, like because of the way things are in today's society. And I'm like, you should know better than to not be afraid to tell me. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've always told you, like I didn't care. Like I mean, she dated boys, she had boyfriends. That's when she realized that's not for me. Didn't work out. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like it. This is what
Right.
I'm like. Whatever. I don't care. Like I'm like you. Like as long as the person you're with treats you good and
Mm-hmm.
takes care of you and the whole 9 yards, like and loves you back the way you love them, like then I don't care if
Right.
it's a guy or a girl. Like whatever it is, what it is. Like because I'm not going to lose my daughter over a dumb situation like that. Like, and I feel
right.
that's a dumb
Right.
situation. Like,
It really is.
why?
Mm-hmm.
Especially for us, like that's our only child. Like, I'm not gonna push away my only
Mm-hmm.
child because of a life
Her
choice that she
sexual
made.
preference, yeah, like
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
like
doesn't
I
matter.
mean, now there's some decisions she might make in life that I'm gonna be like, listen, Dad's gonna tell you to think twice about some shit. But you know
Yeah,
what I mean? But
but
like something like that, like it's just like I don't. I don't care. Like it is what it is,
Hmm.
and it, you know,
What
I
they prefer is
which
what they prefer.
well,
We
which
can't
is funny
straightly
now
tell them.
because now I have to look at things different. Like again, she dated boys at first.
Hmm.
Paul was there. She went on her first date for homecoming with
Yeah.
what was is a very good friend of hers. They went, and became a couple and the whole thing. And it was like, okay. So whenever she'd say she'd have a friend over, I'm like, well, you know the rules. If it's a boy, you mom and dad got to be home, and you can't be in your room, closed door.
Hmm.
So the one day Donna was in the hospital and I was at work and she called me. This was at the end of the school year last year, and she goes, "Dad, my friend wants to come over after school. Is that okay? Like we're leaving the building. Is it okay if my friend comes over?" And I'm like, "Boy or girl?" And she goes, "Girl." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine." And then I paused and she knew and she goes, "No, Dad, she's not gay." And I was like, "Okay." Like because my rule in my head was no boys at the house alone, but now I have to like, well, shit, no girls at the house alone. Like I
Hmm.
can't. Like I don't know what the situation is. So I'm like,
No, but I feel you. I don't have any kids, but that's, like if I ever did and one of them came back to me and was like, hey, just wanted to let you know I'm gay or whatever, girl or boy, male, female, I don't, non-binary, I don't care what you are. Okay. You treat my child with utter respect and dignity.
yeah,
End of
yeah,
story.
I
yeah, and
remember,
that's
I remember when Jane told me, and she told me like she was coming out,
yeah because she
and
told him before she told me.
she was afraid to tell Eric. So they took
Hmm.
me in the kitchen and they told me, and I was like, I don't like to keep secrets from you, Dad. But I was like, but this is pretty big. So I was like, just promise me you tell him very soon. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I don't want to hold on to something for a while. And I was like, what is it? And she was came out to me, and I was like, and like
Yeah.
that's how it was. I'm so okay. And that's
Hmm.
how it is. At the end of the day, I'm okay if you're okay. If you're okay, I don't give a shit. You do what
Yeah,
you
Right.
want, who you want, how you want. Just be safe. Because again, I am like her uncle, but in the same sense, I
Hmm.
also am a dad. Where it's like, just make sure you're okay. If you're okay and you're
yeah,
Hmm.
comfortable
because
with what you're
it's
doing,
it's not something that she. I mean,
Yeah.
I put it out here now, but I mean, at this point, she don't care. But like, she doesn't run and tell like it's not like, oh, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay. You know what I mean? Like, she's not.
Oh.
But if you ask, she'll tell you. She don't care.
Hmm. Yeah.
But like, and yeah, there's still family that doesn't know, and they find out. Like my cousin who lives in Philadelphia, he was just in town because his younger sister, who's 21, she's having a baby. So they had a big, baby shower for her or whatever, and he came in for it, and we were all talking, and he goes, "Now don't be like like my sister and go get pregnant at a young age." And she was like, "Yeah, you don't have to worry about that with me." And he goes, "Smart kid." And she goes, "Not the reason you're thinking, buddy." And he was like, "Huh?" And I was like, "She likes girls." And he was like, "Okay, good call, good call." I was
right?
like, you know what I mean? So it was like like that's just how she told, my cousin, like, well, her,
Hmm.
second cousin, like and again, he didn't care. He's like, whatever. Like he lives in Philadelphia. Who knows what the fuck he gets out there? Like he don't care,
Right.
But it's like, yeah, like she just I don't know. Like, yeah, I was like, I was more weirded out by the fact that like she thought I was gonna be mad. Like that was like, I was like,
I
no,
think she was more just generally concerned because most dads
Hmm.
do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But I guess I think when she felt that I was chill, I think she knew you'd be fucking perfect. It'd be
Hmm.
fine.
Well, I think it was so much that she wanted like that second opinion because obviously Donna was the first one to know, and she already obviously had the conversation with Donna, and Donna was like, "Your dad's not gonna care. Like, just talk to him."
Hmm.
But then I think Donna was the one that kind of told her like, "Well, talk to your uncle. Like, if anybody's going to know him and know how he's going to react, it's going to be him." So that's when, yeah, she told him,
And that's when she told me, and I was like, he's not gonna give a shit. Like
yeah,
he's
like I don't care. Like it's like to me, it's just it's not even a thing because it's not like I mean again, this girl's so focused on school and her career and
Hmm.
college and whatever else. Like she's not even looking for relationships. Like she's not. I mean, after she told us there was one girl that she was talking to, it turned out not to work out so well. So that was it. Like, but there's not been like, you know, she's like, oh, I like this. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't care. Like,
Right, but
But
it's
it
that's
is
why I
what
give
it is.
you a lot of credit because, like, you're helping build that safe place for her. You're building that security and comfort for her to be like, I am who I am. I can come to you. I can talk to you. I trust you. And like allowing her to express herself in this crazy society of a world where she can feel safe enough to be who she is.
Well, yeah, and that's like, um, a week or two ago, she was talking. We were driving, we were going out shopping or doing something, and we drove past his house, and they had like an LGBTQ flag hanging outside of their house on their porch or whatever. And she was like, "Oh," she was like, "I want one of those." She goes, "But I want the one that's strictly for like, I guess there's one that's strictly for like lesbian or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
yes.
And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Well, what's that look like?" She goes, "Well, it looks like the same thing, but it's more like pinks and reds. It's not a full rainbow." And I'm like, "Okay." So I went onto Amazon within minutes. I was like, "Here's the link. If that's what you want." She ordered it and it's hanging in her bedroom. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to tell you like, no, you can't hang rainbow stuff in the house, or you can't do this, or you can't like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think, I mean, Donna obviously is more carefree about it than I. I think Donna's the one that more. I don't know. I think I embarrass her too. Because like, we'll be watching a show or be out in public and we'll see something or do something. I'll be like, Jane, that's your people's. That's your people's. And she'll be like, Dad, like, come on. Or like Donna has a thing for any time we're in a store, especially like Walmart, or we were just at Target. She was getting some back to school stuff. And Donna goes, Jane, there's a rainbow hat over there. Do you want that hat for school? She's like, you guys are promoting this more than I am. Like, Jesus Christ.
But the
I'm
best
like,
part is like it's almost like it's embarrassing but supportive.
yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like it's that same way. It's like, hey,
It's just
we're here.
embarrassing because we're her parents. Like that's
That's
what it is.
it.
I don't
Yeah.
care. I don't care what the subject is. We're mom and dad. We're gonna embarrass
Your
her no
mom and
matter
dad,
what it
bro.
is.
110%. Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
but it's still the fact you stand on it with her, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
still regardless, but supportive. But at the same time, when she thought it was like a little where she was nervous at one point, to tell you about it, and then went out for that second opinion. Now it's so relaxed and comfortable where it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, there's your people, or something like that, or a little joke goes a long way and probably makes
Yeah.
her
Mm-hmm.
feel way
Well,
better
I
than
think too, like, and I didn't like get mad at her. Like when she did tell me, and then she told me she was nervous. The whole story, I was like, why? Like, why would you think? Like, I've never like,
yeah,
yes, I'm a jokester. Like, I'm a comedian. Like, I make my jokes about everything. So if I said something that maybe made you think twice, sorry, didn't mean anything by it. She goes, no,
yeah,
no, no, I know. But it was just like, I think for her, it was the fact that the situation itself was still new, and she didn't,
Mm-hmm.
you
hmm
know, like having to tell people, you know what I mean? Like she was super nervous to tell, you know, like Donna's parents and my mom and stuff like people like that, like,
yeah,
her aunts and uncles and stuff like, and again, everybody, same reaction Paul said, like, okay, we don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just more or less one of those things where I'm like, you just got to tell them so they don't question when you bring a girl to a family function
Right.
and they're like, who's this? I'm like, well,
yeah,
this is my
right.
girlfriend.
Be like, oh, this
'Cause-
is your friend? No, it's my girlfriend. And all of a sudden, it's like we're not eating Thanksgiving. Like, okay, what the
yeah.
fuck? Yeah, like I, to my recollection, I remember when Tyler told us when he came out, it was the same thing. I was like,
But Tyler, though, we knew
we
before Tyler
knew.
knew.
The worst part is we told him we knew before he knew.
Yeah.
Like, but again, we are very there for him, and we were all with open arms, and now I think I love his husband sometimes more than I love him.
He's the man.
I was like,
Like,
Brad's the best,
well,
man.
no, I don't know. I don't know which one's the man there. I can't put my finger on it.
No, Brian already says he's the bitch. Dude,
Mm-hmm.
Brian's that dude. I love that dude.
Yeah, but then sometimes Tyler though makes me question his role.
But when they fight, bro, and then like and not like fight, but when they're arguing with each other, just fucking around, I will piss myself laughing because
They're
they just
yeah,
go on a
See,
whole
but
they're the
nother
greatest.
level.
that's one thing that I love about working with the LGBTQ community, especially the couples, is sometimes they don't have roles.
No,
So sometimes you'll look at it and they'll be like, there is no man, there is no woman, there is no, we are who we are.
that's
Like we're
it.
still a couple, but that's it.
That's
Right.
like our neighbors. Our neighbors across the street are it's two gay guys, and they're older, and they've been in a relationship for a super long time. Before it was even cool to do it, and yeah, there you wouldn't know. The only way you would guess is because the one used to do drag. So it's like you like, okay, if one was going to be the female, it would be this one. But then sometimes the other guy will do something, and we'll be like, well, I don't know, like,
Yeah.
So,
maybe,
this is
maybe.
I work with a family right now where there is it is a family. One of my clients, her parents are a lesbian couple, love them to death, yin and yang for sure. But the one mother reminds me so much of you, Eric. It's not even funny. It's like the female lesbian version of you.
I'm a good lesbian. I mean, I like me some women. I can't complain. I can't default her choices. I mean,
That's fucking great, bro. That's hilarious. Oh my god. I'm gonna wrap this up because it's gonna go on 3 hours. So, that was really fun to end it on that. Because now, Eric, now I'm gonna think. I'm gonna think this. We need to see this lady in some way, shape, or form, but we
changing
can't
my name
disclose.
to Rosie O'Donnell.
But we can't disclose who they are for Sam's sake, and it's a little bit
Nope.
tough. But
We're just gonna say Rosie.
right. But as always, Sam, we always appreciate when you come up on the show. Again, congratulations,
Thank
and
you.
of course, whenever you want to come back, I always set the shop for you.
Absolutely.
All right,
Yes.
there. Have a great night.
You
See
too.
ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Holy crap!
Yeah.
And the time flies when you're having fun, bro.
That's what happens when we have guests on. So, folks, be prepared. If we say there's a guest, which we don't announce ever,
Yeah. But
it's
if
going to
we
be a long one just because. So, let's put it this way. If you see a third person pop up on the screen, buckle up
buckle up, Buttercup, because you know shit's going the fuck down.
because
Okay.
it's just like, because again, it's somebody we're just always catching up with. And there's always topics like we just had that spark long conversation. And you just, shit, this is just what we do. This is the reason that we started the podcast because we do this in person all the time. When we're together, just bullshitting or hanging out. Like back in the day, I'd be like, babe, I'm going to Paul's house. I'll see you in an hour or two. She'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
Because that once, especially like our friend group, we get together, we just start bullshitting, we just start hanging out, and one thing leads to another. And before you know it, it's 3 in the morning. Like,
Sometimes five. But
so,
speaking of guests and friends, and this might take a long time, I'm gonna start promoting it now. That way, nobody gets twisted off of it and goes, "What happened?"
Twisted tea?
Uh, huh?
Twisted tea?
You might have some. I don't know.
Okay. I'm in.
So in two
Three,
weeks, is
two,
no two. In two
two.
weeks, we will be doing a special backyard brawl Pitt versus West Virginia edition of the podcast. But
Bonus episode. We'll still
it's
have
a
a regular episode that week, but
right,
there will be bonus
but there will be a
footage.
bonus episode, bonus footage. There will be bonus audio, of course, but the venue is going to change. There's going to be a new guest that one has never been on.
Listen,
Uh,
if any of you listeners, watchers, whatever where you want to call yourselves, the Choa maniacs, like
the
what
Thoughters,
the thoughters, if you're gonna be at the game, tailgating, hanging out, let us know. We'll stop by.
yeah, let us know what's going on. Shit, stop on our boat.
We on a boat
We're gonna be on a fucking boat.
with some flippy floppies
Or some cricky crockies. We're
or
gonna
with some
we're
cricky
gonna
crockies.
we're gonna be live for that episode. Not live, but that episode will pertain to being us on a boat. So we are gonna be coming from a boat. We're working out kinks on it. How it's gonna be all set up, how it's gonna all be shot. We pretty much have it solidified as how it's going to go down. Eric and I have a plan A and B. So we just want to put that out there. That's how I wanted to end the show. Is that's coming. But like Eric said, we're going to do our normal weekly episode, and then we're going to have the bonus content of the Pitt, West Virginia backyard brawl game. So if you're, of course, you want to see what happens, what chaos happens, even if you're not into sports or football, check it out. I highly recommend, if you've been following us for a while now and listening and watching and subscribing and just being a part of this journey that we are on. Like, this is the next big step for us, and we're going to try this new. So if there's kinks to it, if there's something wrong with it, we don't know. We've never did this before, just like we never did a video one, and now we're here. So just bear with us, because it's going to be off location, not from his home and my home. It's going to be, he might be on one side of the boat, I'm on another, or we're all together. So just, we're forewarning everybody now. We're going to be coming from the Pitt West Virginia game in 2 weeks. So I hope everybody's excited as we are about it, because we're both excited about it, and especially with our guest. I'm not disclosing who the guest is. I'm going to leave that to a surprise once the show airs. Okay, so as
If you
always,
want to be, I guess, like if you're down there and you want to be a guest, or you don't even want to be a guest, you just want, let us know. We'll be mingling. We'll be
yeah, we'll,
mingling.
we'll be through it. Like, we will be there probably by like 1 o'clock, 12:30, maybe well, a little after 1 o'clock, probably, more or less.
If you're
But
down there for the Pirate game, let us know. We'll
yeah,
be
we'll be
around.
there. We'll be there for the Pirate game. We'll be there for the Pit game. So yeah, and if you see us going through the crowd, we might get some, pull us around, pull us aside. Hey, I watched the show. Hey, I listened to it. Or just send us an private message or something. Like, we'll just tell us where you are, and we'll come see you. We'll make it, and we'll even make it part of the show. If we have to split it into 2 parts or something, like interaction with people, it's there. We're gonna have a really good time, and this is gonna be a really good special episode of the show. So again, if you don't want to miss it, like our shit, subscribe to our stuff. That way you get notified when it's uploaded. So until then, until next week, we're sorry that this is a long ass episode, but like Eric said, you see somebody or you're catching up with them, it's gonna take time. So if I tell you there's a guest and they show up on the screen, you know it's happening. Or you hear
Buckle
their
up.
voice, if you hear their voice in the audio, you fucking got it, Sally. You're gonna have to listen to us in parts. So this one's almost 3 hours, but I thank you all for listening. I thank you all for watching as always. I thank everybody for doing all this, and I'm psyched for the next thing to come, which is happening in 2 weeks. Of course, for Big E and myself, this has been another episode, and we will catch y'all next week. Have a great weekend. Later.
Later.